It is finally here. Day number 4 of the European PMCO Spring Split 2020 is finally upon us. My name is Max Man, once again with Imperium for another day of insane and epic European PUBG Mobile action. Imperium, how's it going?
Going pretty damn good. Indeed. Of course, we have 2 new sets of groups going up in today's games. It's going to be Group B and Group D. So lots of changes are going to be happening up on the leaderboard. We're going to see hopefully some surprising moves up, maybe some unfortunate surprises down the field as we get through these games, but it's really going to be an interesting one.
A very interesting day and a very important day for most of these teams. We're just talking about standings in Imperium, so maybe we're just going to be overlooking it. Let's check out the top dogs of this European PMCO so far. If you did not see, real quick piece of info, if you did not see yesterday's broadcast, I would definitely recommend you to check out day 3 of European PMCO. Yesterday, Imperium was absolutely mental. We had a chicken dinner for Real Deal, Czech Esports, Top Killers, Team Legend. And even though Team Legend on the last game, they actually got the chicken dinner, they didn't get the most points, right?
No, they didn't. It was the very first game where the chicken dinner winning team got less points than the team that actually got. Okay, I said they're confusing, but yeah, Terra got 31 points for second place with 17 kills and those 14 placement points. And Team Legend did an amazing job of getting that chicken dinner, and then got 27 points for them. It was much needed win for them, and with that 31 points, so acts like that put Terra right on top of the leaderboard on 137 points, followed by Magic in second place with 115 and Red Reserve in third with 102. But those 3 teams, they've all played 4 extra games than fourth place, which is next. So like I said, we're gonna see these changes coming up on the top of the leaderboard as well as the bottom.
Yeah, because let's not forget that next they were in first position at the very start, so they're going to try and potentially take it home for themselves. As today, it will indeed be another set of groups. It will be Group B versus Group D. The players, the teams that you are seeing up here that are very good position, they're still going to try and just get a few extra positioning and kill points for themselves. It's going to be, of course, Team Next. They're going to try and just keep on ramping up, potentially try and take that first position once again. But I am really hyped up to see, once again, Hate Gaming, the only team in their respective group, which is Group D, to have actually had a chicken dinner. But not one chicken dinner, 2 chicken dinners. They have the monopole section of chicken dinners of their group, and they seem really prepared today. They're going to be having also their very first game. Well, not only them, but also the entirety of these teams and players having their very first game on Vikendi. So very interested to see how that might impact their overall standings.
Exactly, 100%. I'm really excited to see, because even outside of the 2 chicken dinners, they also got 11, 12 points consecutively. So that consistency on strong performances as well as chicken dinners really helped pave the way for Hate Gaming coming into the next set of games for them. But I do want to bring it over to the bottom half of the table. Now, this isn't hugely surprising, but 11 of the bottom 16 teams are playing in today's set of games. That's nothing surprising, right? So that's going to see a huge change in the overall standings. And also there's going to be a monumental fight for these teams to get above each other. You look at Elevate. Elevate are down all the way in 26. Nobody expected that coming into this PMCO. Only 23 points. They're going to have to really pull out all the stops in these 4 games to chunk out and get up into the top of the standings.
It's very interesting, like compared to the scrims and the actual PMCO games, like teams are were not underperforming. They weren't doing extremely well. They just showed up next were in the scrims that we didn't know what they were doing, and they were just absolutely exploded to kill count and everything in their very first games. And you have teams like, unfortunately, Elevate. They got 4 chicken dinners in a row in scrims, but when it comes up to their PMCO games so far, it's been, unfortunately, a lot of losses in Imperium. Even just the stats are really surprising. So Elevate, the dust has yet to settle. This is going to be their second game session today. So they're only 1 quarter way through. Hopefully they can just try and ramp it up once again. But it's definitely that they can't afford another same day as they did 2 days ago.
No, 100%. The only thing I can say about Elevate is that their scores were consistent. They were just consistently bad. 7, 6, 5, 5. I don't mean that out of any huge shade to them at all. Hell, I'm wearing an Elevate jersey tonight, along with Michael Skillet jersey. I'm wearing both of them just for transparency, because both of these teams are competing. but it speaks for itself. Their results, they need to improve. I'm sure they will. They have a hugely influential IGL and KLAS, and yeah, I'm expecting big things.
Yeah, they do seem pretty hyped for today. They know their mistakes, and also they're a team that's put a lot of time, work, and effort in their craft that is playing PUBG Mobile competitively. So I'm sure they checked it out, they seen the VODs, they knew where their mistakes were, they pinpointed them, and they're going to try and fix them as hard as they possibly can as we do go into today's games in Purim, because as I said today, we're going to be having Vikendi. They already won some games on Vikendi during scrims, and they seem pretty comfortable on it, but they're not the only team. Like, Hate Gaming seemed pretty comfortable on it. Even though MZ said they wasn't really sure, but Jaja from Hate Gaming, they said they're pretty comfortable. They already got 2 chicken dinners, and they're in the same matchup versus Elevate. So, of course, it's going to be very interesting. There's definitely going to be a lot of competition on that specific map, but now talking about other teams, I'm looking out for Team Dope. They're a team that has been a little bit all over the board. They've been up, they've been down, they've been everywhere in terms of standings and kill points. But they only got a chicken dinner on Sanhok, and Sanhok has been taken away off the board today. So we'll have to see how that might impact them later on down the line.
Yeah, but they have been a little bit all over the place. But with all due respect to Team Dope, like, they got that chicken dinner Sanhok of 26 points. They got 11-point game, a 13-point game, and then just a 1-point game on the first game of the day. So
then 14.
You know, with all due respect, they've really been consistent overall in their point standing outside of that 1-point game at the start of the PMCO. They bounced back with the chicken dinner, and that was always going to be important. Then they followed it up with 2 good results. But when you're talking about Vikendi as well, just to touch upon that, I'm also going to be looking out for the likes of UDR Killers and OVN Esports.
Especially
Both those 2 teams have performed relatively well and successfully in Vikendi's, and especially when you look at UDR Killers, they're 16th place. Nothing hugely, bad, nothing hugely impressive. It's middle of the field. OVN are pretty similar on 43 points in 19th place. So these 2 teams, I'm expecting them to make the most of Vikendi.
Yeah, especially I'm waiting a really good performance from OVN. I said it last time when they played on Sanhok, and they got, what is it, 2nd or 3rd position? I'm not too sure on that one. But they definitely got really good standing position on that Sanhok game. And Vikendi is another one where they're pretty comfortable. They took 1 or 2 chicken dinners during scrims, and they're a map where they rotate really efficiently. They're very reactive, still very passive, which is the playstyle you're trying to adopt as much as possible until the later games of the stage. Hell, if you haven't seen it, go check out the Vikendi game of yesterday. That's a prime example of how you play Vikendi. Super passive, early to mid game, and then late game it just snaps in just a snap of a finger. You lose like half of your teams. So I think that's a playstyle that really does help OVN in their passive early to mid game stage, and might have a chance of taking their very first chicken dinner today on day 4.
Yeah, exactly. And this is nothing hugely important because they all face up against each other. But, I know when the teams talked about what groups they were in, it's kind of like, well, who's the harder group? Who's the kind of easier group? Let's be honest, they're all pretty similar. Yeah, okay, the teams that have played 8 games, you have Group C are on 505 points total in their teams, and Group A are on 499. And then when you compare Groups B and D, who are playing tonight, Group B are on 319 points total, and Group D are on 314. So realistically, there is no huge difference in kind of which team or which group is, let's say, standing out above the others. They're all pretty even Stevens balanced out.
Pretty even Stevens balanced out, but like you were talking about this earlier, I don't know if you've referenced it already so far, but you said like before the broadcast that like there were 11 teams of the bottom 16 that actually are playing today. You mentioned it already. So this is going to be like a really big race to like aim for the top position. So as you said, they haven't played a lot less games. So of course it's not like if they're to super far behind. No, they just got less games than like the teams that are in the top 16. But now it's going to be really a point where the dust is going to be slowly settling up. Like teams like Elevate, they need to have good performances today. There's no room for more mistakes. They have no time to relax. So they need to put their best performance they've done so far, because they are pretty damn far behind so far. They are sitting in 26th position. Elevate is the team that I think everyone's going to be looking out for in these games today. And maybe a few teams, what you can do is also, if you know where they're going to drop, they're pretty predictable. They like to go for Milta. And if you want to try and potentially get rid of your competition, maybe hot dropping on them is a strat. After it is a little bit of a weird strat, but no, we've seen some weirder stuff during our PMCO casting, right?
Yeah, of course. As much as in competitive gameplay, there's this little bit of an unwritten rule or law that, look, if you have your drop start, you have your drop start. You tend not to crush somebody else. But at the end of the day, it's not set in stone. Anybody can drop wherever they want to. You have to be prepared to expect the unexpected, you know, and that is something that could happen. A team that I do want to talk about, though, and you know, I don't like Team Attila. They're lying in the very bottom of the barrel in 31st place on 16 points in total. I would love to see a real nice kind of redemption story from them in these 4 games, getting some strong results. Doesn't have to be a chicken dinner, but that consistency in 10, 12, 13, 14 points would really set them a lot higher up in the standing, and I'd love to see that coming out from them.
I think that, like, this might be a little bit weird to say like this, but actually Team Attila, I was actually happy with how they ended their first day. I'm going to explain why, because at the very start of their first day, on their 2 first games specifically, they rotated just extremely late, and every time that messed them up, they were in one of the last spots every single time in those 2 first games. It was also the case for the 2 games after that, but they fixed their mistakes they had in the 2 first games. They shifted so fast, and they started having really valuable positions. After holding the position is something completely different, but I think that the fact that they're able to pinpoint mistakes and fix them so quickly is a valuable skill for these teams and these players. Of course, can you do that fast enough to be able to slowly climb back up? It is going to be really hard because, once again, as you just mentioned, 31st position, only 16 points in 4 games. That is not looking great, but if they keep on fixing and improving on themselves, they could try and make a comeback. If they do the same point system as like Hate Gaming, Magic, Next, they can get back in top 24.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. Another team I want to point out is MVP Gaming. I actually played with Militia from MVP there last night. Had a few games with him, talked to him, and you know, he knows what the team's mistakes were. He knows where they went wrong on certain games. They're currently lying in 22nd with 28 points, and he is feeling pretty confident, along with the rest of his team, that they will make strides in these 4 games tonight, and they will be able to heavily improve on what was a bit of a lackluster day for them in their first set of games.
Because MVP Gaming, they are in what position already? Do you say they are in
22nd?
22nd. In 22nd, they are in they're actually in the pack of, like, there are 3 teams with exactly 28 points. That's going to be MVP Gaming, LAKONOSTRA, and BackToBack. So I'll have to see. Maybe they'll just keep climbing up. It would be fun if they keep with the same amount of points every single time. But guys, I know we've been talking for a very long time. We are slowly getting loaded up. The lobby is looking pretty stacked. I think that normally no players will be missing. We'll have to check that one out. Because, so for example, yesterday Team Legend spawned in with 3 members. They were able to get a chicken dinner, so it's not that big of a loss. But we'll be jumping in game very, very soon, as this first game will be indeed on good old Erangel. And actually, I'm going to go over the schedule if you guys are new to the broadcast. You haven't seen what happened. What is PMCO? What is Europe? Well, I mean, you know what's Europe. But here it is. Erangel going to be our first game. Then Vikendi, Miramar, and Erangel. No Sanhok for yesterday and today. But, you know, it's a very aggressive map, and I think people... Overall, I think the majority just prefer Erangel, Vikendi, and Miramar. So I think that makes people happy. And it's my favorite map, and yours too, Imperium. So we'll fancy from there.
Yeah, and it's also going to be the last day that we're going to see Miramar being played in the group stage as well, because the next 2 days it's going to be Sanhok and Vikendi.
You just have to make me say, you just have to take that away from me. I love Miramar too. But it's that, I mean, one team that's going to be very happy. One team's going to be very happy. That is Next, because I talked to them just before the broadcast, and they said that the map that the least comfortable on is actually Miramar. They absolutely hate it. They have just a hard time. They say it's because also mostly the circle shifts really mess you up mostly on Miramar, because if you have to rotate from like one valley to another and you're just in the open area, it's like Vikendi, but like 10 times worse in that sense, and they just have a hard time doing that. So I think that Hate Gaming, they're going to be pretty happy on day 5 and day 6, and they've been already doing good so far. So imagine how it's going to go for them when they don't have their worst map to play with.
Exactly, that's something that we are going to be finding out real soon. Of course, Erangel is the first game of the day. It's a good old-fashioned Erangel. It's what these teams know and know the most. We know roughly where these teams are generally going to spawn up, depending on the playing trajectory. You're going to have Elevate dropping around the Milt area. We haven't really also talked about Cream Esports and what Cream kind of, you know, maybe need to do. Yeah, of course, they're by no means, you know, looking bad, but in 8th place, they've had 1 chicken dinner, 75 points. They are kind of, you know, they're kind of at the bottom of the teams that are in the top 8 that are playing today. So that's something that I'm sure, will be thinking of, and that they will want to kind of climb ahead of the likes of Hate Gaming, Next, and of course other teams that are up above that already played yesterday.
I think that the good thing about Cream, right, is that they're a team that doesn't need chicken dinners to have good points, right? I think, like during the first day, when they didn't have any chicken dinners at that point in time, they were actually the team that was still in top 4 with no chicken dinners. And that because it's just consistency. You don't need chicken dinners all the time to be able to get yourself in the top positions and to qualify for, big LAN events and everything like that. So I think that Cream Esports is like a really big and a really good team to use as a definition of being consistent. And chicken dinners, even though they're all nice and fancy, you don't always need them to get yourself in a good standings overall. But anyways, with that said, we'll be slowly moving into our very first game of the day, Imperium. This is going to be, of course, day 4 of European Spring Split PMCO 2020. Going to be good old Erangel. Was only one team going to be taking this very first game up their sleeve.
Oh yeah. Let us know in chat what team you are going to be supporting, what team you are looking out for, who you want to see get the first chicken dinner of the day. Let it be known. Have a conversation. I always love to see on stream the chat being active and that support going out there. And I know that the players always love that, because that can really be huge fuel on the fire for some of these players. They hold a lot of pride in themselves, but they also hold a lot of pride in the fans that support them, the people that support them around them. And for them to see it in chat, especially if they're doing not the greatest, that can really help lift them up in between these games.
Yeah, that's why Elevate and Goskiller, they both got like the Imperium buff today. You got their jersey, so they're going to feel a little bit of some Irish power in themselves, and they're just going to destroy their teams. We'll have to see if your buff is worthy or not of these squads.
Well, or it could just make them potato.
Debuffs them.
Because I am a potato. It could nerf them, to be honest. Time will tell. And also a huge shout out to Reese from Cream Esports. He is Irish. Absolute legend. So great to see the Irish being represented in the EU PMCO. But this is it. The first game of the day. The plane trajectory looking all spicy. Let's see where it is going to be going and where these teams will have to be landing.
Over Stolber, and here it is, our very first plane of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Gonna be a pretty nice one. Not unfortunately for the likes of Elevate. They got a little bit of a distance to go for. Teams like to go military base, might be a little bit far out of their dropping range. Zaki, I mean, REXPECT aren't here, so they should be happy, and they even had Promos, but they're still not in this lobby today, Imperium. But this is still a really good plane to start off with, but Imperium, I'm praying, and I'm just crossing my fingers so hard. Please, can we have an Eastern Phase 1 circle? I'm asking PUBG Mobile gods, please. I got followed by PUBG Mobile yesterday on Twitter, okay? I must have the PUBG Mobile Twitter, buff that allows me to decide where Phase 1 goes. Please go on the East. Make me happy. I want some Eastern action. We have too many West circles.
Yeah, no, I do totally agree. OVN landing up in Severny. It's where they like to go. A passive team looking to play in a passive style for this first game of the day. Who's going to be going to George Paul? Normally, of course, we see Terror going there as well, but as we know, they are not playing in these set of games. Cream heading for the farm location. That should be pretty easy for them. They always like to land and split up around there. Hate Gaming will look to land by the outside of Ferry Pier and then make their way into military base. Unfortunately, your prayers have not been answered, Max. We are not going to the east side.
Oh, that's like the most Western circle you could have. Why are you doing this to me, PUBG Mobile? Oh, well, I guess we'll have to do it. I mean, we got another Erangel game to end the stream, so hopefully that one will be happening. But MVP Gaming and AK-47, they're going to be dropping over here in Southern George Pole. And MVP Gaming, they're not a team that usually drops over here an insane amount. Normally it's going to be focused mainly by Terra Esports. You also got AK-47 they like to drop there. But MVP, they don't have all that experience. They do drop their event every once in a while, but not as consistency as these two teams. So it'll be interesting to see their take on Southern George Pole, Imperium.
It is definitely. Now looking over as well, we have the likes of B2B Limitless have landed in Lipovka on their own. AK-47 is by MVP on the South Georgia area, so that's going to be very, very interesting to see who is going to come out on top. AK-47 currently lying overall in 28th place with 22 points. And one thing that I didn't mention is the fact that there's only 8 points dividing 22nd and 31st. That's nothing. That is half a chicken dinner.
That's just one good game. Yeah.
It's one good game, pretty much.
Yeah, so really it is still in the air as to what teams will be able to make it through to the semi-finals. We still have 2 more days after today to know which one that might be. So this is why it is the most important. It's important than ever to support your team in the chat and tell them that you support them, that you love them. As we're going to be slowly panning between all the teams, see where they're currently located. Next, the team that has made us the most surprised on the very first day. They just completely destroyed the competition, getting over 80 points at one section on just one day. And next, definitely one of the biggest surprises in this tournament. They're going to go for Gatka. It's a very passive kind of location, and also with that Western Circle shift. Unfortunately, the Western Circle shift, they don't have to move, so they shouldn't get involved in any fights at this time. At this point in time.
And I think that's why the circles haven't gone on East, because I noticed that, and a lot of people, when I was talking to guys from MVP, like Next, they seem to be so good at rotating, but also getting the circles nearly always in their favor. So when they land in Gaka, hey, look, maybe they're just magnetizing the circle to be in that area of the map. So feel free to blame Next for the lack of East circle shifts. In these games, it is working out for them. Elevate now, of course, going to their usual spot by Milta Power and around there, although B2B Limitless are a little bit close by.
It's a little bit surprising. Normally never do that, start going down to Milta Power. We'll have to see. But I think it's more Elevate that hates it, because they always go for Milta like, oh, another Western Circle shift. Oh, we got to drive again through the coastal line and make it through. Cream, though, they're going to be in that section towards farm, so Elevate, if they try and rotate early, which they normally don't do straight away, at least in the early game stage, might pose a little bit of a threat, but Cream and Elevate, they seamlessly rotate at the same time, so hopefully enough, these two teams will not be coming out together. 8 Gaming, they always love going for their good old fancy compound over here of military base. They're not going to get denied this time around. Normally in scrims, there's always 2 or 3 teams in this area, but now because it's actual PMCO games, there's a lot more passive, and they try to spread out as much as possible. And which is nice, especially we saw that on yesterday's Vikendi game, right, PM? Like, there was so many teams that was just spreading out, because after the very first day, all the teams did their VOD review, and they know where they're dropping, so now they're just avoiding fights as much as they can.
Exactly, and having a nice spread of teams around this map, to me, I always prefer it, so that they can just find the space. They're not fighting early game unless they, unless they come across on a rotation. It just adds to a higher level of competitive gaming later on, in my eyes. Now, when you're looking at the circle being on the west, it is going to be a little bit tougher for the likes of Elevating and Cream to kind of rotate into a nice spot. It's going to be much easier for the likes of Hate and OVN, as well as Team Push, who are on the north and south side of the map respectively. But the teams are kind of on the central east side, B2B Limitless as well. It's going to be a little bit tougher for them to navigate away from the teams that are inside the circle.
Over to Team Dope. They got himself 1 chicken so far on Sanhok. They got one of favorite compounds, actually maybe even my favorite compound on Erangel. The reason why, really good map visibility. You've got roads right around you, so super easy to defend against a breach. And also you got a lot of rotation potential. You can go downhill, you can go up north if you want. So I think Team Dope are definitely setting themselves up really well for like defensive positioning and also rotation positioning. So Team Dope, I think that's like the best compound you could potentially pick on this phase 1 circle.
Yeah, definitely, and that's why I'm a little bit surprised that as of right now, Next aren't going for a 2-2 split across the central area of Baigaka, because I feel like that would, considering how strong they are as a team, that they'd be able to handle that. Okay, that's going to be a 2.75 out of 10 for me. I feel like there's no way that he should have flipped over, should have controlled that two-side wheeler in my eyes. Max, I don't know what you thought.
I was legit going to say that was a 2.5, so, and you said 2.75, so you know what? I think we're being really good judges here. I think we improved him on our exactly. Card trick skills. So unfortunately, Elevate. We knew they were potentially going to crash a little bit with Cream, even though it's not really a crash, it's just passing by. But Cream, they're not going to get anything, and they're way too split to take this fight on a steady foot. So Elevate, they're just going to keep on cruising. Class is going to be the member in front of everyone, trying to open the pathway to the circle. Hopefully, I would really like if Cream and Elevate don't get an unfortunate fight, because those are two teams that late game, they just shine, especially Elevate.
Yeah, exactly. I do like the fact that Elevate are rotating earlier in this game compared to what we've seen them do previously, but I'm not going to lie, I'm not exactly happy with how they've rotated. Yeah, okay, they're not being caught out because a lot of teams around them are rotating, and there's no team that are exactly like all bunched together as they're going past, but I still would like to have seen them rotating a little bit safer to either north and south side of the circle. But now we're seeing, as this phase one is closing in, the teams are starting to move in to the circle.
I'm actually surprised that Hey Gaming rotated like late in quotation marks. So it's not actually late, but it's a late rotation for leaving the military island, because you don't want to get hit by a bridge camp on the western bridge, and they actually went for that a little bit later than I thought, because if a team has already set up camp there and it's a western circle shift, you might get in a little bit of trouble and you might have to go for like the boats or just swimming it out. But luckily enough, there were no teams really in that location, so they should be able to take it up for themselves. As Team Attila, a team that I said, right, they fixed it, and now they rotate a lot more earlier, they got compound under control. This is what I'm expecting from them, and they did it spot on.
It's still on the passive side, but I would agree. It's a lot cleaner. It's a lot better coming out for them in the early parts again. We're still less than 10 minutes in. We are going to see phase two. It is going to shift up north. Who's going to go onto Everest? Who's going to occupy the compounds that are very, very important down the south of Everest? Like we saw in yesterday's second Erangel game, Terra Esports, who got those 17 kills, they stayed as a full team on the compound just down south of Everest, and it worked out very well for them. I'm expecting a team to go there, in this case, most likely next.
That was when like Broccoli of Terra got like 9 kills. That was absolutely insane. Love that guy. Yeah, at least what I'm happy about, I wanted a little bit of diversity in these circles. At least it went up north. We're not going to have another, like, very peer kind of location end circle. So at least I'm happy it goes a little bit up north. Might be lucky and I actually have a George Paul finish. But here it is, LAKONOSTRA trying to be as reactive as they possibly can be. Cream, Vita going to be pretty close by, but they are out from each other. As Goskiller, team that you have the jersey in Pyramid, I'm really jealous about. Going to be just around the corner, but they are actually getting it raining down on Team Push. As Bessan Hoppat straight up in the open, and chances of a res seem pretty hard for them to get here.
It's going to be very hard for Team Push to get any kind of res. Never mind the second player of Team Push, that's Magic, is nowhere near Bobby. So 2 players of Team Push up. Bobby, the IGL, is going to get into the buggy. As it now Goskilla push forward. Nice aggressiveness coming out from Goskilla. They're going to try and drive by as Elod does knock down Bobby's. That's going to be 3 knockdowns in the favor of Goskilla.
This is very, very nice, smart, and aggressive play coming out from Goskilla. I absolutely love it. Like, they didn't let them time to res. I think that's a mistake we've been seeing repetitively quite a lot during our games. It's just teams allowing reses and then engaging after the res comes on through. They just didn't allow it, and they just forced on through, knew it was a 4v2, and they took it easy peasy lemon squeezy. So Goskilla, spot on, very by the book kind of gameplay, but that's why you call it by the book, because that is what you do, and it works.
Tell you what isn't working. So rotation coming out from Elevate. They've lost Kailas. Will is knocked down. There's a lot of dangerous players and teams around him. You've got Cream inside the dip. You've got LAKONOSTRA looking in the direction of the members of Elevate and LAKONOSTRA. So good stuff from both these 2 teams. Unfortunately, bad for Elevate.
Yeah, Elevate, we said it. You can't have another bad day. Don't want 2/3 of your games going down the drain, so got to try and the ASAP. So a little bit of a hard first early game. Will, unfortunately, in the open. 2 of his other members, they just way too out of his circumference, so should be down that pretty soon. We'll have to see who will take that 1 point. But Cream in the deep, I always say that position is pretty risky. It's pretty nice to defend with, because it's pretty hard to push on because it's in the open. Like, just one nade just falls down. We saw it so many times. Just one nade, and it could go the complete opposite direction.
It can go horribly wrong for a team that are inside that dip. I would nearly always recommend that you have 2 inside the dip and 2 kind of outside the dip. I know there's no real compound nearby, but I'd still always recommend a bit of a split team between that area and a compound. But either way, Cream are going to hold on to it. We are going to see phase 3 popping up in the next couple of seconds. Is it going to stay down south? Is it going to shift up north? Depending on where it's going to go. You're calling north. Hell yeah, you were damn right, Max. That's going to favor GoSkilla and going to put a lot of pressure on the teams down south as B2B Limitless knocks down KZS of Throne.
KZS, yeah, unfortunately, was no one around him. This is why you try and, split up a little bit during your rotations, potentially send out a scout, because if you lose one, at least it's only one. Don't lose the entire squad. Throne, they're going to be on the mountaintop, see if they can try and cancel out or at least get some intel on future rotations. It's a pretty hard location to hold on to because it could get breached from so many locations. We did see that yesterday on our, I think it was our second game of Erangel Imperium, where it did actually end up happening a little bit towards Everest. But we'll see if that will come into play a little bit. Moving Esports, we have the river in play, right, with the little island. If they can take the Harry Potter Tower / the compound next to the bridge, they can be the bridge campers of this game. And that would be the best location because it's a 50-50 split because of that river. And having a river compound at this stage would be just muy buenísimo.
It just makes it a lot easier, and you're kind of setting yourself for a nice, easy rotation if a hard shifts away from you. So yeah, that would be definitely a good spot. I wonder if any teams are going to go up towards the Everest direction. If it's more than one team, it's going to get really dangerous. I would definitely also not recommend any team go inside ruins. We're Creamer on the outskirts of ruins. That's higher ground. I'll accept that. But inside ruins is just... just don't go near there. It makes it so much harder to disengage away from it. You can go around and go to the north side of the circle if it stays up north, but I just wouldn't recommend it, Max.
I mean, once you're in ruin, it's okay to be in it, but rotating away from it, I think is the hardest part, right? Especially when the circle is actually closed up. That there are a few compounds around, so direct line of sight. You talked about Everest potentially being pretty hard. MVP Gaming are there. UDR Killers, they are also there. And B2B Limitless, they are trying to keep it up for themselves. Gonna try and take the fight. They got a little bit of a higher ground position. Nade's getting thrown left, right, and center. Not quite able to connect, unfortunately. But UDR Killers really not giving up on this position. But the 2-2 split, I actually like it.
Yeah, UDR Killers, they could now look to be disengaging. Will work out for UDR Killers if they can get away. But Nano is driving away. B2B Limitless are spread out a little bit more heavily. They're on the higher ground for now. Sandro is a little bit stuck in his own, not full health. Could get really pressured if he goes out of position.
I could have cooked that nade a little bit, but he's going to try and go for the Kobe. Oh, that's actually looking pretty good. Imperium. Oh, puts him down to mid HP. You know what? I actually love that lob. Yeah, loved grenade, but will not do the work. But I'm surprised they went back to a 3-1 split instead of a 2-2. I think it's a lot more valuable to have that 2-2, but it does at least show an intention of playing it passive and not willing to take the fight head on. In my personal opinion, there's another card that's going to be taken by Sandro. He's definitely going to try and get back to his team, but that is actually 3 teams here on the southern side in ruins, and he said it is no great place to take fights on, and these 3 teams might find himself in a little bit of a pickle.
It's going to be a bit of a pickle. Team Dope going to get knocked down. Tudor being connected on by LAKONOSTRA. Grenades are being flying out in all directions. I love the fact that Elevate are just kind of ignoring it, right? They're not looking to get involved, allowing these 2 teams to kind of take each other out. We could see a third party in the next 30 seconds or so, but let's not forget that the face is shifted away from these teams, so they're going to have to engage hard, quickly, if they want to find any kind of relatively good position inside the next circle.
Hopefully, this will not go too bad for LAKONOSTRA. They don't get backstabbed by Team Dope. They're going to be here in that car, and I think Team Dope okay, they're rotating with the car. We can also rotate with the car because let's just avoid the fight. And it's just an unofficial alliance between these 2 teams. Okay, we're going to give up on this. This is not helping out any of our squads. Find a better position, and let's just push up this fight to a later date. Team Attila, pretty split. Unfortunately, Illogist trying to go for another compound, but that compound is already occupied by the boys of Throne.
Illogist knocked down. Will he be able to be the bait for the other members of ATL to take down Throne? They're on the west side of the circle. There's also AK-47 pinching the remaining members of Attila. That could come into play, Max, as they all vie for a position inside the circle.
Mad Max kind of moves right here, trying to get the shots on Team Attila. Can they get it? The car is fuming. They're going to have to jump out, and the Squire is gone. Team Attila really struggling in this later stage. AK-47 going to try and be really proactive. His 4-car-man car shift can get a little bit tricky. Hopefully no teams will catch them out. Team Dope also getting himself in a bad spot. But Team Attila, the 2 remaining members, well, the only remaining member now is going to be Kel, and Ilog is still knocked. But Kel going to have to do a solo move, and I don't think it's going to go well for them. Hate Gaming, ooh, split.
Yeah, Neymar is looking very risky. The remaining members of Hate gonna have to do what they can. They're being punished by Ghost Skillet, who stayed up north, and the circle has favored them as they're just on this high ground. It's a risky position to be in. This is because it's at an angle where you can get punished by some teams around you. It's just it's a very dangerous position. You really need to know where the enemies are around them as MVP, Team Dope, and UDR Killers are fighting up against each other.
Third team party from MVP. I'm liking it. You can have the intention, like the impression that they did set up this kind of positioning because they knew some teams are going to just tumble down from Everest. And I do like the fact that they tried to early call that. Now they're just going to try and prey upon these kills, try and secure as many points as they can. But unfortunately, they're going to have to try and heal up from their wounds first. They can't take this fight head on just yet. And despite the kill feed popping off, MVP Gaming, they didn't really become the team to play aggressively, so they didn't get any knockdowns. So they're not sure if these are the two teams that lost a few members. A great spray coming out from Senzo.
Oh, nice. Very nice from Senzo onto the members of Team Dope. Good, confident play from MVP, peaking at the right time in the right direction.
Oh, but Blind's got the perfect positioning here. Another spray for prey coming on through, but unfortunately Blind gonna get sniped away by UDR Killers. They are not giving up, and they're just trying to deny rotation further up north for these squads. And now they're kind of controlling. They are the game master of this circle shift. Now Team Dope, unfortunately, down to very few members. They're going to try their very best to hold the position, but it's shifting once again up north, and 40 seconds. This fight is going to have to end, and a few teams will potentially die in the process.
Yeah, and Team Dope have been taken out, so it's just MVP and the UDR Killers that are on the south side by Everest, and the circle has shifted up north, Max. That means the river is actually really splitting these teams up. It's taken away the landmass. We still have 43 players up in phase 5 on the 20-minute mark. This is all gonna hit. It's all gonna crash together in the next 3 to 5 minutes.
Hate Gaming and Goskula were actually popping off. We saw the kill feed light up for a few seconds. We'll have to see how that fight does end up. Hopefully we don't lose any of those two teams. That'll be very unfortunate. Navi, is he the last member standing? I think he is. Goskula still looking strong. They got a nice high ground position, the lip of the hill to protect themselves with. But MVP Gaming now, with their heels up to the wall, they're going to have to try and force forward. Nice fight back. None are going to get headshot by Senzo. But now they got their car still. They can try and use it and split up. Autobots roll out.
Autobots roll out. Let's see if we see some Michael Bay action in the final moments as the teams rotate. Cars exploding, people dying, dreams shattered as Cream and MVP are going to get very close to each other. Senzo knocked down, leaving Danny and the rest of the MVP having to crawl back and try and find a space.
We're about to see an MVP sandwich right now. UDR Killers, they got the heal back up, and they are slowly pushing forward, trying to find himself a few frags if they can during that shift up north. Throne next, also fighting up. Throne losing a lot of their members there. We'll have to see if they can make it out alive. So much action around the board in Pyramid's phase 5 because so many teams are still up there. We lost another squad. I'm not even sure which one it was. This is how many fights are happening at this time.
Yeah, it's just absolutely mental. LAKONOSTRA onto Cream. Cream onto MVP. LAKONOSTRA onto MVP. Hell, we've even seen OVN knock down Militia of MVP. Teams are just crashing into each other. Bodies are flying all around the place. And slowly but surely, we are seeing teams dropping down. Now 11, 30 players up. AK-47 doing a good job to stay in this. I also want to point out that the 2-man remaining team of Elevate are still inside it in the center of the circle,
Potter,
just staying safe in the Harry Potter Tower.
Yeah, and so far just letting the other teams, like they're just taking their hands up, like, okay, I'm not touching my phone anymore, just let the other teams fight and we'll come back in phase number 8. Here it is, another fight, MVP Gaming, again, UDR Killers, they get almost eliminated, they still got Ulysses on the back. And his very, very best to hold his ground, but now he's got to shift potentially a little bit more over to the west to avoid direct confrontation. There are two teams there, but a circle shift, once again, this is definitely helping out the team of Elevate, and this is just a gift from the heavens.
Oh my god, and Ghost Skillet, who are gonna have to go across the bridge or through the water in the river from the north side. Will they be punished as Lurwan, knocking down Peko of Cream?
Does get a little bit of tick done with the molly. Unfortunately, doesn't get any flushes. Peko unfortunately got knocked, but normally Reeves will be able to make it back on top. He said, your Irish bro, he's going to be the saver of his soul. AK-47, they're going to be the bridge trolls of this game. They'll be trying to hold their position as long as they can. Still got Member of Throne just chilling in the water, trying to snake his way through or swim his way through to victory if he has a chance to do so. But Imperium, 5 more seconds and mayhem is going to be upon us. And only a few teams will be able to make it close to this Harry Potter tower.
Oh man, now we're down to 8 teams. Go Skilla and AK-47. Go Skilla gonna look to go for that rotation. It's exactly what they need to do, but the spray from Borean really putting the hurt onto that UAZ.
How did that not connect? I'm so surprised. They were looking so good. Oh, 7x from Goskiller. Gonna get knocked away. But his team is still there. The carry gonna try and join up, but they are not ready to go for the res. Making it through the bridge at this moment in time. Are you... Oh my god, this is not gonna work out for good old Goskiller. Down to now, their very last member. Andy gonna try and get his best shot as he can. Goskiller losing an extra one. He's just solo and still able to barely survive with a slith of HP. Where it is next, looking for the underbridge engagement on AK-47. But they are definitely finding a little bit of a stop in their steps.
Nice stuff from AK-47. Harb in the background. Members of Next are falling flat one by one. AK-47, they're ready to fight. The Romanian team pushing forward onto Next. Harb has to go back. His 3 teammates are knocked down. This could be the end of Next.
This could definitely be the end Imperium, as I think it was right there, actually. We lost quite a few. And this is indeed going to be Next eliminated in 6th position. Down at the top 5, Cream, OVN Esports. Still, we got the members. 2 members only of Elevate, and they're going to still try and hold that position. It was only 2 members. Harry Potter Tower is so easy to defend. It's so small, and it gives you so much visibility. They got one of the better positions for a 2-man squad to defend with, as it's still going to be closing up on this compound. But will it shift still in their favor on phase number 7? We'll have to check that one out. Look at Vinetu.
Plus the fact that all the teams around them, players around them, are taking each other out. We see Go Skiller go out, Next go out, who are close by. AK-47 have done a fantastic job. I'd love to know how many kills they are on right now as OVN trying to hold on to their position down south. They've got Cream right close by.
He's running it down. AK-47 still not quite ready there. Both teams are just hoping. So many teams on the edge. All the teams on the edge except for Elevate. And they're just praying for phase 7. Where will it take? Oh my god, are you kidding me? Elevate! How much did you pay PUBG Mobile for these circles?
I tell you, you know what? It's the Imperium buff, Maxan. It's the jersey going in their favor. They're going to hold on to the center of the circle as the 5 teams closing in. Cream and OVN, they're going to have to go downhill. AK-47 can just creep up from the side of the water, but they have got the members of, I believe it is, Throne in front of them.
But this is such a flat terrain. When it starts closing up, mayhem is going to be upon us once again. Hoping that we will indeed be having a few smokes. If they kept on their utility, this is the exact moment we want to pop up that utility. Unfortunately, Throne, Vinetu in the water died out. They'll be taking their very 5th position. Not too sure how many kills, but they didn't play that aggressive this game. But it is, the car engagement is coming out. They really want to get upon that Harry Potter tower. But do they know it's only taken by 2 members? They know they have no other choice. Marley's going to be the very first one to breach it up. Let's see if Elevate can respond in according fashion.
Plus OVN are coming in with the 3rd party. Smoke's being thrown by. Marley's doing what they can. That's going to be the end of Vito being knocked out. Pocus gets knocked out by AK-47. This is 1, 2, 3, 4th party coming out between these teams.
What is going on? The kill feed is going absolute bonkers, Imperium, but Elevate, they're still trying their best to hold on to it. Zuku is going to be left alone on the tippity top of that building. OVN still trying their best to push, but it will not be to any amount of success as it gets shut away by the one and only Cream Pecco. AK-47 also moving forward. AK-47, Elevate, and the last member of Cream is going to be Reeves. It's a 4v1v1 Imperium, and this is definitely looking like the game for AK-47.
Yeah, OVN went down, unfortunately, a second ago. As you said, 4v1v1, AK-47, the Romanian team, ready to take their chicken dinner. They were 28th at the start of these games. Reeves go down. They're on 19 kills. Could they make it a 20-kill game, Max? And that will be the record. That will be 40 points if they close this out. But Zuku's a hero. He's a man. He's a myth. He's a legend. Can he close out this 4v1, or actually, sorry, 3v1?
knows exactly where they are currently located. He's still got some utility. He's going to be jumping out. He's popping out the nade. He doesn't have the time to fight back. He gets the first engage. It's a 1v2 Imperium. Where's the UZB? Misses the spray, and there you have it. AK-47 will be taking their very first chicken dinner on day number 4 of European PMCO Spring Split 2020, and they drop the 20-kill bomb. Imperium, the very first 20-kill bomb of this split.
Max, AK-47, they scored nearly double the amount of points they had in total up until this point. In one game, 20 bomb kill, 20 points for the chicken dinner, 40 in total. That's going to boost them. That's going to strap a rocket on the back of their asses and shoot them up on top of the leaderboard. But Elevate, they didn't get a kill, but the two-man team of Zuku and Pocus put them into second place. Hocus Pocus, 14 points for them.
Elevate, just these amount of kills alone are getting them actually in the position where they could potentially make it through to semi-finals. They're in the Goldilocks zone now. These are the games, even though they didn't play as aggressive because they split really early on, and you said it was kind of a mistake to like split and rotate split.
Well, it was the way they rotated.
Yeah, it's exactly the way
they rotated.
The intention of rotation was good, but like how they made it happen was unfortunately a little bit weird in my opinion. But still, Elevate, they get the point average we require per game for you to have some good stats overall. You know what? I'm not going to hate on that. Elevate, they did what they had to do, and they were keeping their hopes alive for as long as possible. But Cream, no, we talked about it. Even though they don't always get the big chicken dinners, they got one so far, but they're just consistently there getting some good points. They always get third position here with 3 kills, and they are still looking the strong team that we know them for.
Yeah, and then also, let's talk about the fact that we had, you know, Next coming in 6th, Ghost Skilla coming in 7th. Ghost Skilla got 5, 6, 7 kills for them with 7 places, nothing to be sniffed at. Next, not getting quite so many kills, only getting 2 kills, I believe. Actually, no, sorry, 3 in 6th place. But yeah, it's not going to be a weak game for those teams, but it's not going to be, you know, hugely threatening to, let's say, jump on top of the leaderboard.
I'm just going to mention something. You always made fun of my quick math, Imperium. You just said Goskiller had 7 kills when they actually had 6. So, see how the turntables... I'm the quick math god right now.
Well, why you gonna
I'm
like
pulling you in the dirt, Imperium, and there's nothing can do about it.
Fine. It's fine.
It's fine. He's just always made fun of my math because I'm very slow brainer. But yeah, that was a great game. And you know what? Even though it did go over to the west, it went up north. I can't hate on that. It was a very fun late game finish and a very entertaining first game on Erangel. And don't forget, this is the very first Erangel game and the very first game of today's broadcast. We still got Vikendi, Miramar, and another Erangel game to come your way. This is just the start, and this definitely did put a smile on my face.
It did. One team that definitely fell short was Hate as well. Hate Gaming only finishing in 12th place with 0 kills as well. Really not a good result for them. Team Attila, I know we talked about how they've improved, but they still only got 11th place. Sorry, Hate got 1 kill, my apologies. Attila finished in 11th place with 0 kills. Not what they would have wanted as well.
Yeah, Team Attila, the intention once again was good. It's just they have such a hard time in fights. And I think that their macro is now starting to definitely improve. Their micro has got to work on like your aim, how you're going to breach it, how you're going to defend compounds. That is definitely a really big point. I would recommend them. So if you guys are watching, try and training on that as much as possible during your games. But yeah, that's our very first game. We'll have to wait and see if the standings get updated eventually. We'll try and see if they get updated really quickly. We'll check them out before the break. Otherwise, we'll check them out later. We'll definitely keep you guys updated because, as we said, 11 of the teams that are playing today are actually in the bottom 16th position. So it's going to be a race to the top, see which team can potentially try and claim back their position on this 4th day. And I definitely can't wait to see the Imperium. Next game is going to be on Vikendi. And before we go to the break, is there one team you're hoping to potentially have a nice stellar performance on game 2?
Elevate.
Okay.
Elevate.
I think they're definitely seeing this first game. They went in a good step after, rotations are going to be very important. So I hope they're not going to split too much and try and pull it off a little bit better. But yeah, I think Elevate definitely have a really good shot. I want to hope that Hate Gaming, they're going to make a comeback. They said they like the map a lot. So I'm really intrigued to see if Hate Gaming can have their good performance. With that said, guys, thank you so much for watching this very first game. It is not over. Still got 3 more to come your way. So don't move. We'll be back very shortly for game number 2 on good old and fancy Vikendi. welcome back. After that insane first game on Erangel, now we'll be slowly moving upon our very next game, which will be based on Vikendi. Myself and Imperium will be going through that game, and it's going to be insane after that insane first game, Imperium, and a great victory from AK-47, dropping the 20 kill bomb, hitting the top kill and point count in one singular game. AK-47 setting already a record in their first win in their PMCO adventure.
Man, like, this is what I love about PUBG Mobile. This is what I love about esports. Anything can happen. You know, I would not have considered, hell, they were, outside of Attila, they were pretty much the last team I expected to get a chicken dinner. No disrespect to them, but they pulled it out, and they pulled it out impressively, climbing hugely up the standings, overtaking, you know, we talked about 11 teams out of the top 16. They jumped up ahead of all of those 11 teams to put themselves in 13th place overall.
Yeah, they moved up really nicely. AK-47 in 13th position with a total now of 62 points. I'm pretty happy with the boys, but I'm going to be going over to the bottom 16 teams. The one team that still hasn't made it out of the woods, but they are indeed in the Goldilocks zone that I've been talking about multiple times, which is actually where you want to be qualified for the semi-finals, and that is actually Elevate. They moved up, and they are now in 21st position. They moved up a pretty significant amount. You need to get yourself in top 24 position if you want to potentially make it through. Elevate are there, but still you got a lot of games to go through, so you're now out of the woods, as I did just say. And Elevate, hoping they get a good game. You did call them out as a team that had a really good potential on their Vikendi game, and as we did see during Pro U Scrims, right, Imperium, their team that did really good and performed well on that map. So just got to see if it does continues in that global direction during PMCO.
Yeah, it's a step in the right direction. At the end of the day, you know, they moved up the standings, and they're going step by step. It's not what they need. Like, they need an AK-47 result, right? They need a 20 kill game or thereabouts. They need that chicken dinner, not just for the standings, but for their mentality to kind of say to themselves, yeah, we can do this, you know, that we can get these chicken dinners. Because, you know, I've talked about it before, when it gets to the final stages, when you're getting to those 3 or 4 positions that are up for grabs to qualify for the regionals, you better be damn sure ready to get those chicken dinners. And right now, Elevate aren't there in these games. They want to get there. They need to be there. They're getting in the right direction, at least.
Yeah, this is definitely the right step in the right direction, as you just said. I'm really happy with them. Hopefully they can just, you know, keep the ball rolling, and I'm sure they can do. They showed multiple times over and over again that they can do it, and they were a PMCO ready team. Once again, it just happens that you have a bad day, and that's what happened on their first day. It's a-okay. One team I'm going to focus on a little bit now is going to be Team Attila. We said it, they started fixing what they needed, but now they need to fix their micro gameplay. The rotations, Vikendi, very important, but Team Attila, I know this is maybe not the map that is going to suit their playstyle that much. I know they like playing passive, but they don't pull it off that well.
They've only got 2 kills, Max. They've only got 2 kills. In 5 games, 2 kills? That's not good enough. Fact. It's not good enough. And I know they're not going to be happy with that because, you know, teams, they love to get kills. They love to frag out. It's probably, you know, more of a pleasurable feeling than getting a chicken dinner in my eyes. I would, you know, because we all like to feel that we're really like having a huge impact in a game, and getting kills is a big part of that. And the Team Attila are definitely not in that direction. I do also want to talk about OVN Esports as well, Max. They had a really good result. They got 9 kills in the first game. They jumped up into 14th place overall. And the reason why I want to highlight that is because it got them jumping ahead of teams that were behind them playing in these group games. So that's, once again, it's very good. It's very consistent from OVN, who I rate them going into Vikendi.
We did talk about this a few times already. The OVN are one, well, I don't know if we're Imperium, but one of my favorite teams on Sanhok and Vikendi, because they're extremely consistent on it, and it just suits their playstyle so well. that they know how to play aggressive on Sanhok, they know how to rotate efficiently. They got like second or third position on their Sanhok game last time. Now going into Vikendi, they're a team that know exactly how to defend their compounds, they know exactly how to rotate. It's just a map that once again suits their playstyle. So I'm hoping that OVN is going to be one of their big games where they can take really good points. They did it last time, like they got 9 kills, as you just said, that game. So really just once again hitting their average right on the nose. But once again, it's just about consistency. We'll have to see if they can do the same on Vikendi. I'm going to put all my gold coins. I'm gonna go. What you say? You say tapis in French with line poker when you put like all your coins like on the table for one pull. What is that, Imperium? I don't remember in poker.
Well, it's kind of like no. That's going all in.
I'm bad at poker.
It's going all in.
I'm going all in. There you go. I'm going all in on OVN Esports. That's exactly what I was trying to say, but I couldn't say. I don't play poker that much, as you guys might tell. But anyways, we're going to be jumping into our second game of the day. Vikendi, of course. Hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you guys will enjoy the action we'll be taking to you at home. Also, don't forget to wash your hands.
Well, okay, that went out of nowhere.
I know. I'm just saying those every once in a while, just a little repeat.
Fair enough. Wash your hands, guys. You know when Maxon says it must be important. You know, no.
Oh no, I know where you were gonna go. Let's not go in that territory.
I won't. But like, okay, so when we're talking about Vikendi, we know how important it is to generally maintain a strong compound. The perfect balance is a compound that is pretty high ground, overlooks some nice open areas, and is pretty well inside the circle. But Vikendi being compound heavy, you don't want to end up having to be out in the open, depending on, unless you literally have to, because with that white terrain, it makes it so easy to be spotted out. Yeah, there's a lot of trees. Yes, there's some areas of Vikendi that has some nice dips, but it's just not the same as the other maps. You want to stay inside the compounds.
Just stay nice and cozy in. It's cold outside, so don't move out. You avoid it as much as possible. Don't go full potato, Imperium. Don't go full potato.
Never go
full potato. I think that was for you, Imperium. I think the production crew of ESL is it has a little message for you right there.
It's true. It's true. It's true. Never go full potato. Like if you go full potato, you'll see what happens. Just look at me, like, you know. It's a result of going full potato at the end of the day. But we're into this next game. Where is the plane trajectory going to go? Where is it going to take us? How easy is it going to be for these teams to get into a nice position? It is very central, going from south to north.
From south to north, pretty good plane path. I'm hoping we're not going to have such a bad circle like we did yesterday. Like 50% of it was actually in water. Hope this one will be a little bit easier on the players, so we do have like a more regular game to see how good these teams can survive in the environment. Andy going to be taking their position. Hate Gaming, of course, they like to play on the coastal line. Going to go straight over to Vihar or Movatra, which they usually do. But so many teams down in south there, and they're definitely going to spread a lot over to Kantra, Hot Springs, Volnova too.
Yeah.
That is, as I said, a lot of teams in the same location.
For now, but let's see how they do spread out. Down south is very busy. Where's this phase 1 circle going to go? If it goes up north, it's really actually not going to be too bad for the teams down south in my eyes, outside of maybe Go Skilla and B2B Limitless as well as Elevate. It's definitely not going to be too bad for the likes of Hate and Team Push.
I'm seeing right away Team Dope, BGD. What are you doing up there on the northern coastal line on his own? He's not achieving anything at this stage. Like, I understand that they like to play split early, get as much loot as possible, just spread your wings to get as much loot in your back pocket, and then get back together. That is what Team Dope has been shown time and time again. They like it, and they've been improving on that specific playstyle, but like BGD is just way too far away. And you got B2B Limitless, you got Cream, you got AK-47, even though they shouldn't really pose a direct threat to them. I hope that BGD is going to be very careful, find himself a car and rotate as early as possible while teams are still looting up. But, you know, that is a circle that I'm not going to hate against. That is a way better circle than yesterday.
I really like it, to be perfectly honest, Max. It's down to southeast. we've seen quite a good few northern circles, and even kind of southwestern. So I really like having that southeastern circle. You have the heavy high ground down the south of Cement Factory, which is right now right dead center of the circle. So you have a team go up on that mountain. I know I said you don't really want to be out in the open, but when it's up on top of a mountain and you can overlook all the teams rotating in, you have 2 to 3 vehicles, that will be a very sweet spot for one of these teams.
Definitely getting the high ground early on. If you know how to defend it properly, you definitely have some really good positioned holddowns onto, and also just getting map awareness, which is very important to see which compounds are already locked down, which compounds are open for you to rotate into. We'll see if some teams will go for that specific playstyle. As B2B Limitless, they're going to be not doing too much, playing the coastline, playing very passive. That is their playstyle they are known for. But as there are not many teams in Circle, actually only 3/4 teams in Circle, this phase 1 actually Circle Shift might get a little bit tricky. We'll have to see.
Well, yes, it will, but kind of no, it won't, because the teams that are up there on the north side, they're very evenly spread out between the west, the northwest, the north, and the northeast. There's very easy entrant points into the circle for the likes of Cream, AK-47, and B2B, as well as Team Dope. The team that would probably find the hardest would be maybe UDR Killers. But other than that, I actually really can't see any team having a huge problem rotating into the circle.
Yeah, it's just if they rotate fast and efficiently, they shouldn't really get into each other. But if some teams like to rotate late and some teams prefer to rotate early, that's when they might cross passes. So hopefully that won't happen too early on, because that can go pretty bad pretty quickly. In the area of Hot Springs, an area that is I actually really like. It's got a lot of nice terrain to play with, and if you got yourself a compound, you got a lot of visibility, and it does seem like the circle might shift in that area for the next few phases. So we'll have to see if the teams can try and take that under control for the time being. Even though the loot is pretty scarce, I don't like going there for loot specifically. I don't think it's that great to loot up an entire squad. So if you want to loot that area, you want to try and do a 2-bit, get compounds, get back together, which I do think that is what some of these teams did actually do. They did spread a little bit. No, as long as you spread a little bit, you got the loot to make up for it. It's a good place to call home.
And I think Hot Springs is similar to, well, most cities, but it's especially because Vikendi is there's not a lot of like big cities. There's a few, but not too huge. But with Hot Springs, what I find is that you can be there, but if the circle stays in there, you don't want to be there. You want to disengage away from Hot Springs pretty quickly, and with it being down in the southeast, I would definitely recommend for the teams to avoid Hot Springs unless they absolutely have to.
Playing center circle is pretty damn important. If you can avoid rotating, that is good. So playing center, you do avoid it as much as you can. Hate Gaming, I said it was a team that I talked about and I talked with before broadcast, and they said that they're going to aim for center circle on Vikendi. They seem very comfortable on it. So I'm really happy to see how they can pull off their very first Vikendi game for themselves as a Team Attila. This is a rotation. They were starting to improve on their rotations, but they're going straight towards a compound in the open. It's already overtaken by Goskilla that showed such a nice performance last time on Erangel. There's Goskilla going straight to Squire. And I don't know what to tell you, mate. Squire looking in a pretty bad spot. And now he's got to go to the compound. He can't run away, or he's just going to get taken out. He's going to get flushed away potentially really soon. They're going to go absolute ham on this one member of Team Attila. Squire going to try and run for his sheer life, but unfortunately Solo, one bullet away from death. I don't think he can take this one, Imperium. But, oh, the cavalry's here, though. Actually make it work out, but it'll just going to get knocked away. Staying for Squire. Kale is just so far away, he can't really assist it. And this might actually be the end of them.
Split. Dropping Split in some way, playing from Attila, just not working out, to be perfectly honest, Max. And Goskilla taking advantage of that, leaving Kale on his own. Just overall pretty weak from Attila. They're going to have to play even more passively. They are only on 2 kills. The chance of getting even one in this game is very, very slim at this point.
Exactly what we were talking about too, like rotating between compounds is so risky because you're so easy to get scouted out, and if you do it without a card, that's like almost putting yourself on death row. Yep, unfortunately on the last member, Kale is going to have to do his best to just snake it through, but snaking, unfortunately, Vikendi, not quite a thing. So it's going to definitely be very, very tricky for them. Hate Gaming, MVP Gaming, going to get pretty close to each another. But that's going to be Jaja, will be the first casualty of his squad, and MVP definitely trying to prey on that kill. They want that sexy point.
Nice play from MVP. Jaja getting called out on the rotation. Now, you know, being the scout, that's not going to be the worst thing in the world. He's going to try and beg for mercy, but that is going to leave Hate Gaming in a position where they are... Yeah, I don't really want to mention, to be perfectly honest. LAKONOSTRA, all 4 players in 1 vehicle, please.
Phase 1.
Find a second vehicle as quickly as possible.
If they find one on their path, just split out really right away. But I think that here, that was actually a rotation coming out from Hate Gaming around the compound. And what you got to do is, like, when you are unsure if the compound has some members or not in it, you just go a really far away out of your direction and try and avoid it and get as far away from it. They didn't do that. They rotated right next to it and they lost Jaja. That is unfortunately, I think, a little bit of a mistake. You got to just rotate large and hopefully you'll just avoid compounds and just be in the nice Goldilocks zone of where no teams can really scout you to.
And one thing, though, that I am noticing is that there's a lot of teams that are rotating to the far east of the circle as badly from Team Dope gets knocked down. So that's going to put a lot of teams very close to each other, even on this phase 1 circle. And does also create a space for the teams that are up on the north area, not inside the circle yet, to rotate a little bit more cleanly into the circle.
And this is the high ground position we were talking about at the very start of the game. It is good to have for yourself if you can get there, but unfortunately there was a team that rotated at the exact same time, so they got 1 member knocked, the rest does come on through. The 2-2 split is working out. At least they got the 2 members on the tippity top of the mountain, can just help them during their ascension. This is definitely going to be a good winning factor for Team Dope, and yeah, LAKONOSTRA, they're not going to try and stay in that position for too long. Just going for the compound, playing it a lot safer.
Well, yeah, and also plus if their circle shifts, let's say more down to the south direction and forces Team Dope away, that could be a chance for LAKONOSTRA to maybe pick up a kill or 2. So they're just going to stay where they are. They don't need to move. Just maybe trade guns, trade, you know, conversation between what's going on. But they can just play it safe, basically.
What would you talk about during the game? What would be a good conversation starter?
The weather.
I mean, the weather's pretty set, right, in your PUBG games. Oh, it's snowy. Well, yeah, you're on Vikendi.
Hey, I meant the weather outside, okay?
Oh, okay.
Like, you know.
Okay. I mean, yeah. Fine. Not the best. I mean, I haven't seen the sky in like 5 days, so, you know, can't really talk about it too much. Maybe not a great conversation starter, but Elevate on the lower ground. That car's fuming, so not a viable option anymore. B2B Limitless going to try and rain it down, but unfortunately the range is also pretty far. If they got some Bolt or DMR action, could be pretty valuable. But Elevate, they don't want another L. They want to try and aim for a better position. Even though they got 2nd spot last game with 0 kills still, but they got a nice amount of points that they needed. They need to try and aim for a little bit higher, mainly for kills. They want to play a little bit more aggressive, but just play overall a lot more together.
Let's be honest, they just want to disengage a little bit and get away from that potential team fight. Rotate up a little bit up north. They are down the south side of that circle. They can easily afford to move up north a little bit, find a bit of a compound by the side of the river, possibly look to punish a couple of teams rotating across and just stay where they are. We are going to see phase 2 in the next minute or so. So interesting what direction it's going to go. But for now, a team push, just going to stay safe where they are.
Oh, Throne, you got to be careful. You're not all together. I thought that's a big kind of miscommunication. They're just like, oh, what are we doing? Some members going up on the road, some going on down south a little bit more. And Cream, they're going to be actually leaving the compound a little bit, pushing forward. You know, trying to play a little bit aggressive. That's completely fine. But yeah, Throne there, got to try and get back together. Hopefully that won't happen again during this game. Cream for the 2-2 split, which I'm happy with. They're just holding the edge of circle. They're not quite in it, but it's phase 1. They can allow themselves.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. Like with a lot of teams rotating down south early on, there is a lot more space for the likes of Cream up by the edge of the circle. As B2B just staying very much by the coastline. We always talk about the benefit of being on the coastline as Throne gonna get caught out and the ranks goes down. You think Throne would have learned from the potential mistake of being engaged on Cream earlier on? You said that they look kind of confused as if they, you know, they didn't know where they were rotating. You think they would have cleaned that up, but they didn't, and they lose a member for it.
I mean, they even got shot from that location, and yet they went back. And I'm a little bit surprised and baffled as to what the idea was behind that move. But you know what? I'm sure Cream are really happy about that one. As Team Dope, they finally got to the top of that mountain. Just going to be chilling there. The range is so far, unfortunately, when you're there, that actually taking fights and getting kills is actually really hard. You're just playing there for the passive and also for gathering information. That is the main tool you want to use that for. Information and information only.
Yeah. Plus, we didn't see a huge shift in that circle going down south. It more centered up than going down south. So Team Dope are still in an absolute fantastic location. I would actually fear a little bit for Cream because as they go down south, they are going in a bit more of an open field area up the north of Cosmodrome. So that, you know, they will want to be very careful with how they are rotating into the circle from there. You can see it on your mini map there. That kind of field up by Cement Factory is a bit risky. And in my opinion, you don't want to be in Cement Factory, a little bit similar to Hot Springs at that point.
At least I'm happy that Throne, they finally got a compound. They're not just venturing between the open lands of Vikendi. They actually got somewhere to call home and just chill down there because, you know, and we just talked about it so many times, of the importance of compounds in this area. But the Arcaders, they had a 2-2 split and they're just going to start getting back together because they know that the action is going to be coming out pretty damn soon. So better take it as a 4-man army. Elevate just around the corner. Also, if they do fight it out, mainly will be a battle of knocks. I don't think that Elevate would like to play this on too aggressive and just force if they do get a knock, or even the same from the other side. But mainly, most teams have got a good position. I think things are going to be pretty calm for this second phase, and phase 3, phase 4 might be when the action starts picking up.
Exactly. The south side is home to quite a good few teams, so if it shifts far up north, that's going to punish those teams, but if it stays relatively down south, they should be good to go for the next phase or two. They're just banking on it going in their favor. That's always what these teams are looking to do. I fear for the teams down south, like to Elevate, B2B, you know, but I think if it goes in their favor, they're going to find themselves in a good spot.
I'm just going to be pushing on through. Next, they're trying to get a little bit of take damage if they can. Their stats trying to look good. Get anything. They get 1 car though, apparently, so I'm just going to try and really get rid of it. Pop the wheels if you can, but that guy's already out of commission. No need to down. Here it is. Looking at the circle, Imperium is going to be closing up. Cream rotating pretty late. There's just so much room in the north, and especially on the western side, that Cream shouldn't have too much of an issue on this phase 2 shift. But look at that. UDR Killers, Hate Gaming, Elevate, B2B Limitless, actually together. So we'll have to see how this will come on through, especially if they shift up north. They might actually start crossing paths.
Yeah, but also look at Ghost Skilla on the south. That's very dangerous for them right now. You know,
the gamble, yeah.
Depending on, it's a very big gamble, and then you have the final player of Attila, which, you know, I don't mind because he's a 1-man army, so he's playing edge of circle. But I definitely question that from Ghost Skilla. I expect them to be a little bit more forward thinking. Of course, they have Whitey as their IGL, self-professed best IGL in Europe, a huge you know, huge impact for Ghost Skilla and a great guy overall. Let's see if it works out. But that's centered up phase 3. Nothing harsh, nothing crazy, just shrunk in a nice way.
That's also mainly just buying time for Ghost Skilla now. They're like, okay, you can still have an extra phase. So think about what you want to do. Do you want to go both and go into the coastal line? It will be tricky because a lot of teams are already towards that area, so I would not recommend it. But it gives them time to like think and consider different opportunities for them to make it to circle. But OVN now, they are rotating, trying to react quickly. They are known for their swift reaction to circles. But now, unfortunately, that is not going to go well. And look at that. OVN Esports, that car explosion, going to get 2 members taken down. Frost almost taken away, but able to jump out last second.
Such a late rotation, such a dangerous rotation. You got to realize with the circle centering up and not going hugely up north, you can't afford to make that kind of rotation at this point in the game. It has gone against them. And of course, B2B Limitless will take advantage of that for now.
Rotating too late is an issue. Rotating too early is also an issue of its own because you rotate early and teams haven't started to shift yet and they still have their compound and just going to boom, shoot you down. And that's unfortunately why OVN lost 2 members. B2B on team push. Once again, going to be just a passive cold war between these 2 squads, trying to get a little bit of knock, use up meds away from the opposing squads. But they're on the edge of circle. Why would they give the position away? They're safe for the time being for this phase 3 on the opposite side of the road, so they shouldn't pose a threat to each other on their rotation.
Well, yeah, we could see Frost maybe punish team push. We'll see. All the while, Chucky with the VSS trying to fire out those single shots to push back the members of a team push.
I think I talk so much smack about the VS. It's just because I'm a noob at the weapon. You know what? I'm going to give it some slack. It's a good weapon if you know how to use it. I'm just bad at it. But Elevate, going to be coming out hot. Class died out really early on that first game today. And he's going to be trying to reverse the steam. Try and go pretty aggressive. But Topson from next, unfortunately, has a one-man army trying to heal up. He's going to get breached upon. And Will is putting a big fat note in his face. It's going to be 2 frags for themselves. Next, going to try and heal back up. But Topson was indeed confirmed.
Nice pre-fire from Will. Really clean. It was kind of a 1v1, so it was dangerous, but well executed from himself. On a side note, I was actually playing with Hella, who is the girlfriend of Slobos from Next last night. Super cool chick, and I love to see her kind of supporting and playing the game and supporting her boyfriend as Next try and make their way to climb up and get really as far as they can in the PMCO.
I just like the girl community on like PUBG Mobile has been like they're lovely. They're absolutely awesome, guys. Please do support them. They definitely do it, and they deserve it. So nice to see them playing in this. Of them got Jip, which is like outstanding player. So
yeah,
best of luck to them and to Red Reserve. And Cream, they got nice high ground position. Was a little bit late on the rotation, but at the end of the day, as long as you get to your position, that is the most important thing. But a few teams are downhill, so their next rotation might get a little bit trickier. But Goskiller, as I said, that gave them enough time to rotate. They made it through. I don't know if they went through the water or through the bridge. They made one choice at least.
They went through the bridge.
They went through the bridge, but at least they made it through. And that circle was actually really good for them, just buying them enough time, and they made it through.
Yeah, but it's still they're
hard,
inside Cantra, and it's risky. Let's see where this phase goes. It does shift up a bit north, but still quite central. It's going to hurt the teams that are on the east side right now. That's Cream, Team Push, B2B. But the teams that are kind of on the west and already inside the circle, nothing too crazy. Just wait it out. I still worry about Ghostkiller, though, down on the south.
Worried about Ghostkiller. I'm worried about Team Dope. They're going to have to go down, but also I'm worried about Rana. He is going to get absolutely destroyed by Team Push's engagement, trying to breach up this compound. Not giving enough time to AK-47 to breach and to defend this one. They got himself the chicken dinner, was a 20 kill bomb last game. Can they repeat that amount of success? Not after a good start, losing Rana right away. That is not off to a good one. Pushing up so much utility that Molly might actually be perfect and we'll get a little bit of damage done. Yes, it does get the spot. Put Magic pretty damn low, and the car explosion does put Magic actually so damn low. AK-47 having 2 members actually so far back. They need to try and defend their compound, but they seem so passive.
No, I think they're actually just using Borean as a sacrificial lamb and getting away as the final 2 players, but they aren't doing that for now. Nice Molotovs from AK-47 to really keep them in this game.
Like they're finally retracting. It's just like, if you want to defend your compound, you've got to do it as a full team, or if you want to retract. We did see Biran there push back a little bit, which I do like, but Ovian Esports, they are going to be having a hard time. Dust did try to breach upon, and he got eliminated instantly. More utility getting used in this compound, trying to really overtake it, and AK-47, they're pushing back so hard, Imperium. Not too sure what's currently happening, but seems like we have a little bit of an issue with the clean feed. Loading up pretty significantly.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was actually just me or if it was both of us. Yeah, having a bit of an issue with the clean feed. A couple of connection issues. Let's see what's going to go on. We might just have to do a little bit of impromptu radio casting if it doesn't smoothen itself up.
Yeah, our apologies for that, guys. We'll hope the production crew will be able to find a quick and juicy fix for this one. We'll be seeing. Oh, no, we're back. There we go. We are back in action. Team Dope still have yet to rotate. But I was going to say, Ghostkiller, you said they were in a pretty scary spot. I was about to say Team Dope, they're in a very scary spot because they've got to go downhill. Now, on the very edge of circle, they've still got this next phase, but phase 5 is like almost 100% sure is not going to be in their favor. They're going to have to tumble down. There were about 3 teams that had a direct line of sight on them. So they've got to be very safe. Even potentially go on the opposite side, go in the blue for a little bit, and then come back in the circle up in the northern side. But Team Dope, yeah, I'm pretty scared for them.
Definitely, but let's see where this next phase does go. It shifts so far up north. That is crazy. The teams down south are going to be heavily punished. Look, Ghostkiller, B2B Limitless, who stayed in Hot Springs since the start of this game, are now finally going to have to start moving. Their legs might be a little bit stiff. Let's see how quickly they rotate.
And they know that there are not many compounds, so they've got to try and get them while they are still open for the taking. AK-47, they're taking a compound on the very edge, just trying to buy a little bit of time, waiting for the rest of the team to go. And here we go, going straight in head of MVP Gaming. They got one of the only nice positions to go for. Well, the little shack there, but oh, LAKONOSTRA, they are also around this vicinity, using their very next member. That's going to be 2 down for AK-47, a little bit late, but they sent out a scout, and this is why scouts are good. It does give you a little bit more room to react in case a team is indeed located there, which indeed there were.
Yeah, now AK-47 will just try and have to get those heals and revives up as LAKONOSTRA are looking to breach in to the circle in their direction, and now they're getting away. Good stuff by AK-47, but the second they move out, they're getting a lot closer. The teams around them, and its next is right in their path.
Get out of the car, please. Oh my god, don't give me a heart attack. That's going to be Burian down. Dexter is going to be solo, just 1 or 2 bullets, and it will be over for him. He's just phasing through walls. Not too sure how that actually worked out. He's able to just buy himself some time. Not sure the healing will be coming on through, but oh my god!
No way!
No way!
No way!
Alpha Bravo going dark.
Oh my god, oh my god. I am now taking the form of a push as Cream going in, followed by team push. This is 3 squads in 1 area of the circle, Max.
How are you still there, Dexter? Oh my god, you lost one of AK-47. Cream, the molly does not quite hit Reeves, so hopefully a res will be coming up. Oh no, drops the molly on himself. Oh no, it's barbecue time, but the meal hits him. And now this is not looking great. Just so much action, a lot of messy and clumpy stuff coming together. And next, also down to the last member, and AK-47 might pull the 3rd party of the century, Imperium.
Oh, Marty against Andy from behind. Marty so low now, and oh my god, the turnaround for Marty. He got Andy. That's next wiped out. What the hell happened, Max?
Imperium, he was healing right on top of AK-47's last member. No, oh no, he gets shot away. Are you kidding me? Marley gets it, but he was healing right on top of him. I did not see him.
Max, we just saw the most ridiculous 30 to 40 seconds I've probably seen in PUBG Mobile. Absolutely monsters. That's what the rotations, that's what the circle shifts can do to these teams. It was not pretty, but damn, it was exciting.
Reminds me Wildcard when they just jumped over that one member in the bush, you remember, in Ukraine? That was just so freaking funny. But there you go. AK-47 were indeed taken out. Unfortunately, he said Team Dope, they're going to have to go downhill a little bit. They are definitely doing it, but they are struggling to do so. LAKONOSTRA, MVP, got a really nice position to shoot them down. Even Goskiller have a little bit of a high ground position. They can be a little bit of a threat. Team Dope still got 4 members. Those smokes are buying them so much precious time to get closer to the compound. They're trying to fight back, and unfortunately, their first YOLO man will be losing his life, and that's going to be Bazzi. But here it is, Tudor makes it through, but he will be dying shortly after.
Oh my god, 1 by 1, trade by trade. BGD is the last one standing. 14 Dope gonna look to get the revive, followed by MVP. This is really good for the likes of LAKONOSTRA and Goskiller, to be perfectly honest. And that has what has happened. Nelsio does take down Lure1. MVP, I believe, are still just about in it. Goskiller now turning their attentions on towards Cream as Cream look to rotate away.
World Class unfortunately died to a car explosion. Going to be taken out of this game entirely. Still, Imperium now, the circle is closing up. Basics is upon him. The blue zone is just going to be at their doorstep in a matter of seconds. But BHD, he knows that he can't unfortunately put off the res on blind anymore. Going to make a run for it while MVP is busy trying to heal up. They're going to go for their very own car rotation. So if he can snake it through, that'll be great and avoid direct confrontation, because otherwise it's almost guaranteed death.
Oh my god, look at BGD. These bush hidings are absolutely crazy from these players. As you are killers going up against Cream. You have B2B to the side. You have Goskill up above. That's going to be Team Dope wiped out by MVP.
Oh, great nade coming out from Cream. They're going to get another few frags in the process. And Cream up to 7 kills. Peko and Marley unfortunately down to their very last member. That's going to be Vito. Can he get Marley? But Marley unfortunately going to be bleeding out. Still can get Peko, but unfortunately they're neo-open. Not many compounds, as I said. Compounds are really scarce on this late game phase, and their teams are really struggling to find a position on which they can actually take fights. And B2B, they're going to try and backstab the entirety of Cream, while Vito is going to try his very best to make the most out of that one smoke.
Peko will have heard those footsteps. He'll be limiting that to the rest of his team. Now the members of B2B Limitless looking for Goskiller. 1, 2, Vito left standing from around the corner. Vito covers behind the rock and takes down B2B Limitless.
The blue is right there. If it was a little bit above the rock, actually, that would be probably game over. But now that he's got that one knockdown, he gave the information over to his opposing team. They might try and get something done on Cream Esports. But at least bought some time, but indeed, going to be seeing them slowly push upon their position. The Arcade is really trying to get that one frag. Wow. But first, it's going to be healing time.
Gotta say, MVP have done such a good job to stay in this game. Up until about a minute ago, Max, they were still a full squad. They have 2 players up. They're driving on through. They're on the north side of the circle. On the south side. It's getting crazy, but now with the circle shift down south, you have the members of Throne looking for hate.
Oh my god, that was almost a knockdown. Was through the smoke spray. Hit that first bullet. He got the hit marker, so he knew there was someone in the smoke, and then he tried to finish off Navi, but unfortunately can't quite find the frag. Yo, I gotta say, that was a really nice move. But the smokes are wearing out, and definitely seems like Goskilla have the information on Vita's position. And UDR Killers from the last fight earlier, they definitely know he's there. So he has 2 teams that know exactly where he's located, and he's got to go downhill. I would be so scared if I was Vita right now. I don't know how to deal with it.
Oh man, and look how hard it is for Goskilla, who are trying to prone and crawl away into the circle, going down the hill, throwing they've gone for a bit of a 2-1 split. It could work out. That one member is inside the circle, but he could get taken out by MVP as Venitu on the hate. Good stuff by Throne, but Goskilla stabbing them from behind.
Said it right, that one member Forest of Throne was going to struggle a little bit, but it did make it known at least that there are a few open spots to take in this circle. And the road again in Purim. Our very first game of Vikendi yesterday, even though it was a little bit more mountains taken in play, but we still got 2 road finishes potential here, which is definitely going to put these teams in a pretty precarious situation. MVP down to only Danny. Senzo is pretty close by, so a heal and a res is definitely potentially going to come on through. But Goskilla, they're making it down. Albi's the last member. Savage X was knocked away. This might be the end of the line for them.
Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling. Can he really keep himself going?
He dies.
As he looks his push away, he's going to pretty much go down. As Sandro of UDR Killers does what he can before he gets knocked down, leaving Ulysses as the last man standing for UDR Killers.
Fortunately, that's not a position you want to get prone in, and that is Throne just controlling the entire area. But Danny just sneakily holding the position and just waiting for these teams to fight it out. Down now to top 3, MVP Gaming, UDR Killers, and Throne. But Throne have a really good position, the circle shifting in their favor, but it would potentially be a 1v2 for Danny, which is definitely takeable, especially with the kind of weapons he has up in his pocket. Throne's got to be very careful, and they see that smoke also. They see that utility. They're checking it over to Danny, so they definitely have the intel that he's there. Again, a little bit of extra tick damage.
Man, MVP and Throne are both at the bottom of the standings. And then you have UDR Killers who are a little bit further above, still looking for a strong result. Danny with the shots pre-firing, keeping himself alive, and all the while Ulysses outside the circle. How is he going to be able to survive? If UDR Killers get this chicken dinner, it's going to be a damn miracle.
Look at that, he's able to control it so well. Going for the molly, 1 tick damage on Venetu, and it will be indeed the knockdown. I think that is almost spot on Imperium. But now, that's a very ballsy move coming out from KZS. He's getting third party by the UDR Killers. Ulysses going for the spray bees alone. He doesn't have enough firepower to shut that down. As now Venetu buys enough time to get behind the tree, and they fight back. That's going to be 1 knockdown, maybe another one. And look at that, the man of UDR Killers. They take the chicken dinner, and they steal it away. What a legend is. Ulysses taking 4 kills in this game.
Wow. Oh my god. I said it was going to be a miracle, but god damn it, UDR Killers coming in with the third party, getting the knocks, getting the damage, and helping to get that chicken dinner. It wasn't pretty for the other teams, but damn it, did it work out for UDR Killers. Chicken dinner, 9 kills. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. That's going to be a good result for them.
That's such a hard late game rotation, right? Going downhill is a little bit on the slope, and there was not too much protection, a few rocks and trees, but really nothing too salvageable for them to use for their position. But still, They hold on strong, and UNICEF just redeemed that entire game for his team, getting the 2 last squads out of commission and taking that chicken dinner. I'm really happy with them. I think it's also because all the teams are focused out on each other, trying to rotate and find a better position, and it just gave him a nice opening to just get the last few frags and secure it. So really proud of UDR Killers taking himself their very, very first chicken dinner in this tournament. And hopefully the very first of many, as Throne going to be securing himself 2nd position with 5 kills and 3rd position for MVP Gaming. I am really happy with MVP Gaming's position. They lost a few members, unfortunately, during the rotation, but the rotations were spot on.
And it was really hard for MVP. Let's not forget that at one point, they were surrounded by at least 2
like
other
4,
teams, yet they still stayed together as a full squad. And that's what helped drive them to get into this 3rd place position overall. And Danny, yeah, he was the last man standing for a side, but he still did a fantastic job. If he was just not outside of that rock, he probably could have closed out, taken down Throne, and that could have put him into a position because he would have had the circle at that point. But all the while, UDR Killers came in. And never mind the fact that Throne and MVP, like I said, both towards the bottom of the standings before this game in 24th and 23rd respectively. And like, this is what we're seeing. We're seeing the teams that are at the bottom of the standings getting much better results than the teams that were at the top. Like, next, you know, not a bad set of games so far, but not what we saw in the first set of games that they played, as well as Hate Gaming. So a huge shift in the tides of these 2 groups.
Team Dope, before this game, they were in 17th position, and now, unfortunately, they made it in 10th position with only 1 kill. And I think that the position we were talking about early game, it came, unfortunately, against them pretty heavily. They tried to breach on the compound of MVP, but because it's such an open area between compounds, between buildings, they were, of course, going to have a really hard time doing so, and they didn't have any more casts to do so. Yeah. So they lost like 3 members. They had 1 member become a bush for a split second, which did save him up for a little while. But unfortunately, when you have a high ground position and you have to rotate back in circle and you know you're going to go downhill, you got to do that almost instantaneously. And without a car or 2, it's almost impossible to pull off if you're against teams that are just around your corner.
So true. It was a step in the wrong direction, unfortunately, for Elevate, though, not getting a good standing result, only getting 3 kills. I'm not going to lie, I don't know what happened to them. They did have the circle for quite a while up and kind of towards the north side near the edge of the river. But yeah, I just don't know what happened, if it was just all too much for them in the end. And yeah, it was what it was.
It was what it was. But still, congratulations to UDR Killers taking their very first chicken dinners in this spring split 2020 for the European PMCO. And yeah, we're going to be slowly moving out of this game. Imperium, guys, tell us also which team you preferred in this game. I'd like to know, actually, just which team do you think was the best in this one? I think it's a little interesting fact to know. But next game, Imperium, is going to be on good old fancy Miramar, where rotations are also pretty damn important. And we're going to have to keep that in mind. And I always like asking this question before the game actually comes up. But do you have maybe a team that you think is going to be having a really good game on Miramar?
I'm looking forward to it. I'm just really looking forward to it, to see what these teams can pull it out. You know, as I said, we've seen definitely a shift in the results for the teams that were down in the bottom, pulling out some absolute stonkers, the likes of Throne, AK-47, MVP, UDR Killers. So really good stuff.
Pretty good stuff indeed. Just checking out if we have the update on the standings. Not quite just yet, so what we'll do, we'll go for a very short break. We'll be back in just a very few short minutes. Should be like about 10 minutes, so guys, do stick around. Do subscribe if you haven't already to be notified for all future broadcasts. Myself and Imperium will be back in just a few minutes for our 3rd game on good old and deserty Miramar. Stay tuned. I didn't put the right... Wait, guys. Next game coming up. Stay tuned. Did that one again. Thank you so much for waiting. Ladies and gentlemen, great 2 first games today. Definitely very action-packed, but we're going to be now jumping in the deserting map of Miramar and see if it's just about to be at the level of gameplay we are hoping for. Imperium, we're going to be jumping into it soon. And Miramar, always love Miramar, all about rotations, and I personally really love it.
Very much is so. I'm definitely excited to see who's going to kind of come out on top. I expect big things from Cream in Miramar, especially because they've been pretty overall lackluster in, well, okay, not lackluster, maybe I'm being a bit harsh, but not from what we've seen them in the past. They are still, you know, the best in terms of the teams that have moved up, lying in third place overall. So they're the best from these 2 groups that are playing today. But I do want to talk about the fact that UDR Killers, after that chicken dinner, have moved up to 7th place. They started today in 16th, moved up to 15th after game 1, and now after that monstrous win, have jumped up the standings overall to 7th place.
We said it right, it's just teams trying to aim for the top position, and it's just a race with the other people in your group B and D respectively. So UDR Killers really happy with the guys, and they have to keep on forcing forward. They're looking pretty comfortable now. They got their nice little bit of comfort to play with, and hoping to see some really good games once again coming out from them. Very nice performance on Vikendi with that chicken dinner. Let's see what they can do on the complete opposite side of the spectrum on the map known as Miramar, where it's definitely going to get pretty sweaty pretty quickly, Imperium, and I'm waiting to see Elevate, that has some good performances, but I haven't seen them actually get chicken dinners on Miramar, but I want to see them try and climb up a little bit high, because last game on Vikendi, definitely not the type of game they're looking for once again to get to that position, because right now they're not in the position we thought they would be at the start of these PMCO games.
I want to see the Elevate. You know what I mean? Like the Elevate, the dangerous, the death-defying, the destructive Elevate. You know, where we've seen them time and time again in scrims, in games. That's the Elevate I want to see in today's Miramar game.
You need to see them, and they need to show up to the party, as we see these players playing with the trampoline, just trying to decompress before jumping into the action, because after that, once you leave this lobby, we are going to go serious mode instantaneously. You know what? Happy birthday, PUBG Mobile. Yes, it's been 2 years. It seems so much longer. Man. I don't know. Sounds like 5 years that it came out the game. Love it. Love it to bits. Hope you guys are having the fun on the game as much as we do. But once again, Polar Bears on Miramar. They're not supposed to be here. But you know what? It's fine. It's fun. All nice and dandy. But Imperium, like we talked about, you know, Elevate. We talked about some teams that we're expecting to show up. Do you think there are some teams that might actually have a little bit of a harder time on this map because of their playstyle? I'm mainly thinking of Team Attila, for example.
Look, yeah, Team Attila. I would even say, actually, surprisingly, kind of UDR Killers. I feel might have a hard time. We've seen them in previous games. In previous Miramar games, they've rotated a little bit too late, and we know Miramar can be hard to rotate quickly on that map, because you have kind of the payoff between going on the road that's a little bit quicker but also longer, and you're out in the open, and then being on the train driving through, you're going slow, you can get caught out, but there is a lot of dips that you can kind of cover behind, and I've seen that go against UDR Killers in the past.
Also, another team that I'm really hoping they're going to be a little bit better on their rotation is going to be, of course, Team Dope. They got himself in a position that can also happen pretty regularly on Miramar. So if you're on a mountaintop and the circle shifts away from you, you've got to try and shift, maybe not downhill in that position, but maybe take a little bit of blue damage and try and rotate from like a sneakier position. We'll see. And of course, Team Dope, just talking about them, they always like to go for Valdenmar. It's a nice, easy plane for them. Like, actually the most central plane I think I've seen yet. This is allowing all of their teams to basically get their position under control. So really helping out for nice and chill early game stage. Hoping the circle, of course, does follow suit with that passive kind of rotation early game.
Yeah, it should be pretty easy, pretty good stuff for these teams to go really where they want to. Cream will head down on the outskirts of Los Leones. It's where they call their home, as well as Team Push possibly dropping there. Or will Team Push actually go to Picado with Throne? Those 2 teams could be fighting out this area for now, as Ghost Skilla landing pretty late, heading towards Impala. It could be a good spot, but Phase 1 Circle, that's where it's going to be, as it does shift up in a northeast direction. Finding it northeast circle.
I didn't even see Elevate go towards Impala. They usually go there. Not sure. I'd have to see on the minimap when it does pop out again to see where they're currently located. But
Yeah.
we're going to be going over to my favorite compound, Picado. We're Throne and Team Push. They set up camp already. Good thing about Picado is that it's got really nice loot. And it's really nice also if you want to try and play passive in the area, because once again, the cross-section between buildings are pretty good and you don't have to, you're not forced into picking fights. As a like full team capacity of about 2. Really here, Team Push, if they want to, they can just play it really passive, just loot up and not even encounter Throne because you don't have to on this area.
Exactly. Now, both these teams are just on the edge of the circle, so could possibly, if they leave it a little bit too late or don't disengage, they could maybe get third-partied. Just to let you know, though, Elevate did actually land in essentially Monte Nuevo / La Drolera area, so they've kind of played it quite safely. Now, the negative for that is that they are outside the circle, and it is going to be tough because of this playing trajectory. The teams are well spread out. So let's see if they can rotate a little bit nicely into the circle from there. But LAKONOSTRA and B2B Limitless.
They're going to be pretty close. Factories over here, so hoping they're not going to get too meddled up. But you've seen that B2B, they are just moving in as a squad. And they really want to try and take this fight head on. They're looking for early frags, which is not normally what you like to do. And also, B2B, they're not a team that I see play too aggressive. And I think the LAKONOSTRA are like, wait, what the hell's going on? We're playing aggressive early on. We don't like this. This is not our play style. And with a 2-2 split, I think this is pretty risky. They've got to be careful. Or they retract, or they fully engage. But that's going to be the first knockdown for Elicio of LAKONOSTRA. And maybe this is their opportunity to reverse this team, which they are definitely going to go for the push. Red X was the Uzi, followed up was Elicio. Gonna get the 2 frags again for the spray. Here it is. It's a 1-on-1. Gets pruned right in time, but they will make it a 1-on-1 trade-off at the end of the day. Elicio almost instantaneously gonna retreat. Doesn't want to lose his life either. But now, will that give enough time to B2B to pull off a few reses? Oh, Elicio,
no,
nade?
it's not going to be too easy. You need to go away from that location. It's not worth going for a revive as a nice AKM knockdown once again, 1 by 1. LAKONOSTRA are being put to the floor by B2B Limitless as now comes down to this 1v1. So low, so close, yet so far is a re. Is going to go in from behind to get another knockdown. What is happening to LAKONOSTRA? This shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't have happened. Now he's going to go for a revive.
I said it, they had to all go really passive and go back as a team, or just engage as a squad, just waited, but they just went on 1 by 1, just allowing B2B to get fragged. Sure, it was very close. It's 10 for Lako, but now the rest comes on 3. It will be a 2-on-2. They're pretty close, but here it is. Hunter going to be the last one, and LAKONOSTRA get eliminated in 15th position. Imperium. That was definitely very messy from LAKONOSTRA. Yeah, you got to play as a squad. They could have surrounded it. 1 on the left, 1 on the right. Just surround them when they're trying to res back up. It would have been a 4v2, but they just threw it out of the window, unfortunately.
Oh, Reed did an amazing job. Full On did an absolutely disgustingly fantastic job, but also, at the end of the day, that shouldn't have happened. He shouldn't have been given those opportunities. LAKONOSTRA just kind of went in 1 by 1 like bowling pins and got themselves knocked down and got themselves wiped out as a squad. After what was a fantastic start to today's games, has unfortunately fallen by the wayside in this game 3.
I think they even B2B are getting involved with another fight. Oh, AK-47 are joining the party. We'll have to see how that goes. They are just going to go back to passive state, so nothing happening on the northern side. AK-47, unfortunately, really struggling, we can say, last game. They got themselves the first chicken dinner of the day. Once again, 20-kill bomb. If you did not see that, definitely want to go back on that game. Absolute mental performance from this team. We'll have to see if they can maybe claim another one. State gaming, you know, Chumacera is a position they like to play, especially in the high ground area, because it gives you just so much map awareness, and you don't have to play too aggressive. You can just go for a little bit of a peek, and the loot is pretty good too. You have to go a little bit far to get it, but it's really nice.
But these two teams are outside the circle, so they'll want to just rotate away. Just to talk about AK-47, though, yeah, okay, it wasn't the best of games yesterday, but the way I look at it is that unless it completely goes against them for the next, games in the group stage, they should have secured a top 24 spot. They're currently lying in 14th overall with 63 points, so that should put them in the safe spot, as I said, unless they absolutely wipe out on the remaining games.
Our killers there, they got the win though. Last game on Vikendi. Kind of a little bit like of luck involved, also skill. Really good on the double spray, again the double knockdown at the very end for Ulysses. Kind of a similar play style in the terms of like rotating, so hopefully they can try and improve and work on that a little bit more. But I wanted to see, so Elevate did indeed go for El Pozo. Did go for a different drop location at the very start, not Impala. Impala is going to be for Throne. So Elevate, hoping this is going to be their game. They dropped for different locations, so they're maybe not too used to this, but the circle shift slowly allowing teams to rotate through. But there's so much room that it shouldn't really see any teams go out early, except from the one we did already see.
I do like the rotation come out from Elevate. Cream moving away from Los Leones. It's exactly what they need to do. And just teams are just generally rotating a little bit more north in towards the circle. MVP getting close to OVN. MVP will want to hold on to the location that they're in right now. And push OVN away.
OVN just around a little bit, trying to buy themselves some time. They got a nice little mountain to play with if they want to try and aim it there. I don't really think this is a position where you want to try and set up the camp for, so I would say try and maybe aim for a compound a little bit more centrally. That will be a lot more rewarding for them on the long term, because let's not forget that the early stage shifts, if they go against you, they go very, very against you. So if you want to just be a little bit safe, just aim for center. Hate Gaming at a bad spot. The blue zone is pushing on them. It's still only phase 1, so they can take it, but with UDR Killers having a direct line of sight on them and definitely having the info, gotta be a little bit careful of how they might pull this one off.
Oh my lord.
Oh,
Phase 1 tick damage, it's not going to be too crazy. It's not going to hurt them too much, and it will actually possibly go towards them, depending on where Phase 2 does shift. But nice spray by Nano to take down Jaja clean as a whistle.
I've heard that before. That thing? As a
whistle?
Huh. Having been over to the UK in a long time, I never heard that. Okay, that's a new one to me. I'll write it down on my little Saiyans textbook. Elevate, they made it away from El Pozo towards AK-47, but they don't want to overstay their welcome, also because it's not a valuable position. And you know, to Elevate, they're very, very keen on trying to aim for good position in early game circles, which they're going to try and achieve right now. But B2B are still in the location, so hopefully they won't get too involved. But circle shift being really good for these teams. The northern side was already had no teams there, so this is really good circle shift for most of these teams, at least for the early game. But Na'Vi, they are moving up. And this is how you engage. This is what we expected earlier from the team that got eliminated first. And you just move in as a squad and surround them so they can't replicate.
Oh my god, Navy. Going for the pre-fire. Good stuff! But it's just going to be too much. He can't really do too...
Behind you.
No way. No way. Are we seeing a LAKONOSTRA all over again?
Oh, we'll have to wait and see, but here it is. They're moving on forward once again. Can he get the spray? Trying to pre-fire behind, but he does get peeked right at the moment. Sandro will be the one to get the finishing blow. Still got to say, really nice attempt. They were going to peek over that little dip, so that means that the heads was going to be the first thing that were going to be coming out. So he did make the most out of it. They did engage at the right time, unfortunately, because they weren't sure where he got located. They kind of went one by one, but I think that was unwanted. And after that, when they knew he was exactly located there, after losing 2 members, like, okay, we're going to take our time. Then they re-engaged. They had 2 angles. It was just very unfortunate because it was a little bit of lack of information, but they got it.
Yeah, it was overall still really weak, to be perfectly honest, at the end of the day. Either way, they'll be able to keep going as a full squad as Coast Skilla, nearby team push, up in somewhat of a high ground, nothing too crazy. Danny did get knocked down. Next, looking pretty good in the center of the circle. Hey, they go where the circle goes where they go in the early parts of the game, and now they're going to look to engage aggressively and pick up their game in Miramar.
They're going in the open like that. That's a pretty risky way to go for it. I mean, they got knocked down, but Danny will have enough time to get res back up. Will have time to heal up. That molly looks pretty damn good. Barbecue season is upon us, but unfortunately nothing to fry. And they're just going to be trying to pull back a little bit. But next, despite being in such an open position, MVP have been surprisingly safe on their spot. And here it is. The engaging headshot for Topson comes on through. And now they definitely want to commit.
They've got the flank. They've got them surrounded. Topson executing that position really effectively. Militia down very low in health. The pre-fire from Danny putting Topson back down. And now as Andy goes in forward, that's it. Next going in on the aggressive play. Sobos gets knocked down. And Danny is last man standing. Actually, no, sorry. Necron is there as well.
And Necron is there. Going to try to make their very best. Reses will not come through. And now the high ground has been back in the favor of Next, and they got a little bit of a few terrain to work around. So this is nice, but they actually got one. One res back up. That was on Danny, so now they can try and take this one home. But I love the flank coming out from Topson. That's what allowed them to get their better position on MVP. But right now, they're set up to try and avoid that from happening, especially Danny. But Topson is going even lower and lower, trying to just play it very large, which I think is the way to go for this one. And when he wants to pull the trigger, just communicate and have your team push at the exact same time. And now Danny going for the car. This might allow them to just go and spray it through.
Topson, he's going to try and use a dip ahead of him.
Wait for your team. Wait for your team. Topson.
To engage onto MVP.
Wait for your team.
He's looking for communicate. He's looking for information, should I say. He's waiting to find out a peek of a head, a drop of a hat, and he'll be able to communicate with the rest of his team because he heard the vehicle driving off a little bit. It did stop. They know he's in that direction as the smokes are being thrown at by MVP.
I was just scared that another LAKONOSTRA was about to happen. I was like, please don't, but he's just peeking out, and this is exactly how we want to play it. Just allowing Harb and Slobos to move on forward, just seeing where the angles are currently open. Andy, I think here it's such a great position. Just keep a nice overview of the compound on where MVP is located. And with that third-person perspective, can just feed that intel over. It is going to be a 3v3, so they're just going to have one scout and just the other members going it through. Nice shot coming out from Topson. He's going to be just bleeding out the members of MVP one by one. That's going to be his second knockdown in this fight. Danny going to try and fight back with third person above that barrier. He's able to get a nice little bit of impact, but not quite enough. And he will be the last member, just surrounded by foes. And next, they're going to get their very first 4 points in this Miramar game.
Really well executed. The angles that Topson held onto, the way he pushed forward. Damn, that's the next that we saw in day, I think 1 or 2, but either way in the first 2 days. Such well executed by Next, and now they'll be able to drive him forward. We didn't have too much time, Max, to talk about the circle shift going down the southwest. What a huge shift considering it was up north. There's a lot of open areas to play for down the southwest that has favored towards Hey, who are down in that direction for now, as Throne rotating past the members of Goskilla.
And they're a little bit split. Yeah, one member of Goskilla was out, be able to res back up. Had a little bit of a hard time. But now they got the smoke, they definitely know he is currently located there. Will that nade be perfect? He sees Albie. Oh, if you could get rid of it, yeah, there you go. Go back over to your main weapon. Gets a spray. Perfect spray coming out from KZS on the M4. And unfortunately, his team is not there, so that will be an extra member down for Goskilla.
Good stuff by Throne, man. They are looking a lot more aggressive, a lot more dangerous in these games. It's on the edge of the circle. Albie will mostly lose his life. How will Whitey and Elod respond to this as Throne are still a full squad?
Oh, and that's a nice break control from Whitey. Hold this one through. At least now they are kind of dictating this fight, and Throne, they should be respectful, right? They're going to go downhill. Don't want to do that. Even though there's only 2 members of Goskilla remaining, don't want to take this position. So I would say just shift up north. This is a nice entry point to go through. I would say this is a fight that Throne, if they want to be respectful, they're just going to avoid it. And I think they are going to try and do so.
They're just going to try and push Throne back a little bit without being too forward, as Elod is going to shoot up the passing Venito. I don't really know what he was doing there, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, that was just... What? I'm confused, Max. To be perfectly honest, I'm confused.
It was like a mix of the two things. Like, it was like one going to try and go for the compound, but at the same time he didn't want to. And he, like, if you want to avoid the compound, just rotate large. But still, they try to make the most out of it, trying to rotate a little bit around, as they will be in the blue. So they're trying their best to make it through. Whitey, the spray, a little bit of work on members of Throne, but not quite. But at least they are now in the blue, so he can kind of just let them tick down. And he knows that they're going to have to run out. Now that car exploded, he knows they're going to have to do that road by feet. And Whitey might just be able to pick up 2 easy points for his squad.
And then we see the circle once again shifting down south on this next phase, favoring the teams that are already down south. Hate Gaming had gone into a more central position inside the circle in the previous phase. They are still inside it for now, and they'll be able to hold on as the teams up north. It's going to be a tough job, as well as the teams on the east like Goskilla and Throne. As we are getting into the 60-minute mark, we have 13 teams, still 44 players left standing. Benito with the M24 ready to pop a head off.
He has Boris too, but here it is. Next, also coming around the vicinity. They might get into the compound of Cream. Hopefully they'll be not going straight up for that position. Also, they're pretty split. Like, got a member that's really far behind, but they're going to try their best to find a nice location. I don't have a view on the minimap, unfortunately, but I'm not sure how many good locations are still open. But here it is. Nice spray through the smoke for Whitey. Popping off right now, but Narang's had to go through that section by feet. He sees, and as I said, that was going to be an easy 2-kill for Whitey, and he's going to shut them straight down. Whitey just doing exactly what he's supposed to do, and he did it really well.
Like, I don't get why Throne didn't just go full send on Ghost Skill in the first place, but instead they decided to try and do this whole, like, 2-and-2 split strategy, which just went epically wrong in their favor, and Ghost Skill were able to respond. Now, next, who are inside the circle are looking to third party. That minivan, that's not going to play too well if you let it be heard by the members of Next, but Next are kind of focusing right now on Throne.
Gonna bite the dust just a little bit, but he's still with his team all around him, so hopefully he'll be get put back on his feet. But still, next they're gonna try and hold a better position. They don't want to let Goskiller make it through, so he's gonna spray it down as much as he can. But it's unfortunately a very big range between them two, so it shouldn't be resulting in too much. But all these teams in this compound actually, if the circle shifts away from that, that might get actually pretty sweaty for most of them.
Oh, look at Topson and the rest of Next having to dance around the bullets being thrown out by them, but the third party nice grenade being thrown out. That's going to leave Elon last man standing. It's going to be all too much if he doesn't get taken down by either of these two teams. He's going to most likely go down to the blue zone.
Goskiller, I believe, even got eliminated there, Imperium on the side, so...
Okay.
There you go. Adios, amigo! Team Dope back on the very edge of circle, trying to play as passive as they possibly can. But if they got to go down here, which is what happened to them on Vikendi, that was their downfall, they might struggle a little bit. So hopefully they learn from that, and they're going to try and rotate really fast and efficiently if the circle does not go in their favor. But next, I'm in a little bit of a scary position. In a valley, a lot of teams could potentially have a straight line of sight on them, so it's a kind of similar position in terms of Team Dope, as if the circle shifts away from them, they got to rotate almost instantaneously. As Team Dope, they got the perfect angle, sprint it down, but the spray of Bazzi will only unfortunately find one knockdown. Can they find more? They're directly in the line of sight, switching over to the SLR, but they're fighting back pretty good too.
Yeah, nice shots onto Bazzi. Next trying to hold on. This circle has shifted down towards the south, which is going to make it even harder for the teams up in the north. There is open fields. Next are gonna find it very difficult because I believe their vehicles have been heavily damaged, and Dope, who have multiple vehicles, will find an easier entryway going down the southeast direction in towards the circle. Nice shots by Andy.
Nice shots by Andy, not connecting too much, but still he has the global idea. But now the cars, most of them got exploded or the wheels got popped away. They still have one apparently that's in a use state. They're going to try and react. But I got to say, Team Dope, really happy. They see that circle rotate instantly, even though they had a great position to harass Next. Like, okay, we're going to give up on this fight and aim more for the late game. I got to say, very nice. I am really appreciating how Team Dope went for that one. But I said, if it's shifted away from this area compound, all these three teams, I'm very scared for most of these players. They might get too close to each another.
Yeah, they definitely banked on a lot happening in their favor up in the north side, but it's gone against them. Now we have three teams outside the circle. Not all of them are going to survive, but Cream are getting the hell out of there. I like that by Cream. Disengaging when now it's between B2B Limitless and Team Push, as Kobe's going to be thrown out potentially by B2B Limitless.
Indeed, big fan of what Cream just did there, avoiding the confrontation straight off, as they knew that Next also try to go for their own rotation. OVN, they're going to try and pick up all the remaining members that survived this engagement, but here it is, where LAKONOSTRA died earlier. Will the fight go in the favor of B2B? Well, that's a no. They'll be taken out in, of course, 10th position. Team push-ups, though, even though they get the kills, they're up to 4 points. They still got to push in the hands of OVN, and they also got to cross the road. Can they make it out alive? I think that might be really complicated for them. The compound under control of UDR killers, and sharing it up with another squad. I do actually really like that position right now, and they are looking to have a pretty central position, making up for the next future rotations.
Oh, Cream just breaching the compound that Dope hold on to, looking to really take over that spot. AK-47, they see what's going on, but they're going to hold out for now in their position. Marley going in onto Team Dope. Bazzi is the last man standing, if I'm not mistaken, for Team Dope. Marley going to go for a Kobe up the stairs. Doesn't quite connect. It's a little bit falling short as Bazzi is doing his best. And that's going to go into the window. no! Kobe comes through. Marley gets him down. That's going to be the end of dope.
Fishing period is now open. Imperium over the end. They're going to try and claim it, but the Blues on hotback. Can he make it out of the blue? I don't think so. And there you have it, indeed. Team Push will get eliminated in 8th position. They'll be losing, unfortunately, one member, but of course it was going to be really hard for them. Had to cross the road so late. That is never going to go in your favor. But next, still having the nice compound, sharing it up with UDR killers. And they just don't have to help. They just have to fight each other. Just help out each other.
Max, it's in the circle as well. This is inside the circle. It shifts down south. It's also favoring Cream as well, as the teams that are up on the north, down by the southeast side of the circle. And now we have Elevate rotating in to crash the compound. It's gonna be party time. Call it a Mexican fiesta in the next couple of minutes.
Elevate, they are still very split, having potentially an opportunity to make it back. I hope so, but cars at this stage of the game are not a valuable strategy anymore. And also Fields, not too good of a good strat because you still have some high ground in play. So hopefully the teams are not going to stay there for too long, or at least try and use that utility if they can. But AK-47, they know they have to move. They know they got to go downhill, and they don't want to get too pressured by the blue zone right behind them. So they're going to straight up breach the compound and try and take a position for themselves straight on top of next Imperium.
It's going to be hard for Elevate because they're not inside the circle. I like the fact that they fell short, but nice spray by Kaylas on the frost. Good stuff from them, but they still got to worry about the fact that next AK-47 and UDR killers are there. If I were actually Elevate, I would push in and make it a 4-squad fight, but it's not going to be easy. The Kobe comes out, and that's the end of Elevate at the hands of Next. This is unbelievable. Draw 10 kills already.
What the hell was that? Elevate was just a few seconds ago. They were still alive, but now they are goners. Burian, that nade might actually be absolutely spot on. Gonna go for it. Will it connect on Sandro? Or no, it will not, but the intention was definitely there. And now only 2 members of UDR are in that building, and the second nade from Rana will connect. They now have to breach it up and take the building for themselves. They will try and do so. Here it is, going to chuck up as much utility as they want, trying to take as little risk as humanly possible. But now they got the knockdown. You got to try and go up, but unfortunately going up staircases one by one is definitely pretty harsh. Next, Slobos trying to get involved, but Burian getting the second nade once again will confirm a knockdown once more, and Sandro going to have to take this one head on alone. Can he make it work out?
It's gonna be tough. It could be paid off with the help from Next, but all the while, Cream are doing what they can. Viper gets knocked down. Rana is gonna have to go upstairs. This is absolutely crazy stuff, Max, in the 24-minute mark in this game. Is Rana gonna throw the smoke, gonna throw a heal? Never mind the fact that you involve a juicy crate in there as well. That's gonna have level 3 gear. That could be a game changer as we're down to the last 5 teams.
Now, if you want to heal up your helmet or your jacket, definitely that could come into play. AK-47 now, they got the res back up onto Viper. And also, Nano get pulled back into action, so that's going to make the push upstairs even harder. And I'm not even sure if AK-47 still have too much utility to go on. Another nade from Dexter. Will it be a bullseye? That seems absolutely perfect, and yes it is. But now you got to try and go for the re-engage, but he's going to try and cook up a second to all flush out Nano or get Sandro in the context. This seems like a perfect one. This will be indeed the case, and Dexter will confirm the compound and the building for AK-47, giving him a nice place to go for. And phase 6 Imperium went over to them. Cream and Hate Gaming, all not looking good.
Miramar, when do we talk about Miramar being inside the compound outside of if it ever goes into city, and these small buildings are going to be in the palm of these hands of these final 4 teams, and Next got a nice Kobe. Cream are holding out. Now they're going to get into a vehicle. They're going to drive in. It's going to be another fight going on. Boom, Cream, let's rise to the top. The revive comes out. How are AK-47 gonna hold on to this?
Cream gonna be breaching on this compound, but next they will see change their focus on MZ. Hate Gaming, they're gonna get eliminated in 4th position. Still really good attempt from them. AK-47 giving a lot of time to breathe and potentially try and heal up from their wounds, but Cream still trying to play this one very passive. So many smokes, oh my god, holy smokes, this is not looking good. And Cream definitely not able to go full ham on this one. You just got to wait for the smokes to dissipate before fully committing.
See, here's the thing. Cream don't know how many players inside that building, so they can't really push it fully. And all the while, Next are just going to hold out. They're in the building behind. They can just wait it out and allow the 2 other teams to take each other out. It's just bombs away between these remaining 10 players and 3 teams.
Dexter did get mollied up. Essentially, a res will be coming out. Now the smokes are indeed diffusing. The mollies are, the nades are coming out. They're raining it upon Topson, getting the third-party nade of the century. And now this might actually open up a nice opportunity for Cream to close it up. And yes, they do indeed. AK-47 out of commission. That's going to be third spot. But the magnet of the circle next with still 4 members. It's a 4v3 versus Cream. As Topson, as always, going to try and get a nice little flanky position to play with. But where is the circle going to go for? Might come into action or might not at all. But it's Phase 8 Imperium. Only one of these 2 squads will take it. These 2 teams have already got chicken dinners. And they already showed how good they play in the late game stage. But unfortunately, this is how PUBG rolls. Only one team will make it out alive.
Max, this is the Phase 8. It's gone away from the compounds. You've got Cream in 3rd place. You've got Hay. You've got the likes of Next who are in 5th place. This is Titan against Titan. We could see something similar come the finals. And now it's going to be the first knockdown onto Marty, leaving a 4 against 2. Kobe going to come out. Will it affect Next as they look to push their way into the circle from behind? That's going to be a knockdown by Vito on the Slobos, but is it going to be too much for Cream to handle?
Cream, they're going to flush out Slobos. They won that point, but same is also the case for Next. Vito going to be the last one. Miley, unfortunately, is in the open, so that will be an extra point for them. Vito going to have to take this one in a 1v3. He's in the building, so if he jumps out properly, this could actually be working out for him. He's got the good loadout. I mean, he's gone AK. And to pull off some kind of clutches, AK is definitely one of the better weapons to go for. But at least they achieved it. They got 2nd position with a pretty nice kill count. And Cream now make the unthinkable and go for the 1v3 clutch. He's going to go for the jump shot. Does he connect it? No, he doesn't. In jumping in the open arms of the one and only team Next. And there you have it. Next get himself another chicken dinner. And look at that. Topson, 6 kills. Harp, 6 kills. Handy, 4 kills. That's a grand total 16 kill count, Imperium. Pop it off.
Boom. What a play, what a game for Next. Yes, it was helped by the fact that they had the circle on their side for so long. However, remember, there was a point in that game where they were on the northeast side of that circle, if I'm not mistaken, and they made a hard shift right through into that compound, and they held on to it. They held on to it by dear lives. They had UDR killers. They had AK-47. They had everybody and anybody. They had Elevate coming in, trying to take over their spot. But by God, did they keep hold of it, and it paid off by getting a chicken dinner. Can't deny what Cream Esports did in 2nd place, getting 5 kills. And once again, AK-47, chicken dinner game 1, 3rd place game 2 with 6 kills.
AK-47, they are definitely just the team that are the biggest surprise. Let's not forget that in Pro EU scrims, they're a team that actually almost never showed up. They only showed up towards the very, very end of the scrim sessions. And they were already a team, like, at the very start, without any kind of training, they were just outstandingly good. They just got win after win, high positioning after high positioning, and also fight after fight, and dominating in those games. And they're doing the exact same over here in these PMCO games against top tier, tier 1 European teams. And I'm so proud of AK-47. But next, we talked about the early rotation. That's the only reason why they were able to make it through. They're known as now the Circle Magnet. That's going to be their 2nd name. And it paid off for them. The circle kept on shifting towards them. They just had to let the other teams fight it out. And they showed himself at the very last moment when they needed to.
Can we rename them Magneto? Oh, yeah, we could rename them Magneto. But either way, yeah, you're dead right. The circle just elevates to where they are. And I want to know, though. I want to know, Max, how the hell did Hate end up being 4th? I know that's, like, I don't mean that in a bad way, but, like the French baguette, the beautiful French baked baguette that is MZ, where did he kind of come from, if that makes sense, to keep his team up there? There's so much action. It was just, wait, MZ is still there? He's dead? What?
He was behind Haybell the entire time, and he just avoided confrontation. He gave his position away by smoking up to get towards Next. But Next, he saw the smoke, they're like, oh, there's definitely someone over there. So they just breached him, they surrounded him. Even though it was 4v1, a lot of respect coming out from Next, and they just surrounded him, took it out. No way, Jose, that was going to work out for MZ. But the attempt was there, and still they get 4th position. They got 0 kills, unfortunately. Overall, fourth position still gives you a significant amount of points, and the average is already hit. It's not going to hurt the average points too much, so
Yeah.
Hate Gaming still in a really good position to go to the semi-finals, even the regional finals at this stage in PM. But still, Chicken Dinner going over to next, and so far, that is actually going to be their, if I'm not mistaken, their second Chicken Dinner. I want to be sure. It will be their second Chicken Dinner, indeed.
It is. Yeah, it's going to be their second Chicken Dinner. And actually, to touch upon what you said about MVP, the reason why MZ kind of ended up going out is because he tried to smoke. That's actually similar to what happened with Elevate. Because remember Kaylas got the knock on the Frost? That instantly put the attention on the direction. And because Elevate as a team weren't there, they couldn't breach further in that direction. And the response by Next to throw out a grenade, it was, of course, really lucky timing that it got all three members of Elevate. But the fact that Elevate basically put the attention in their direction when they weren't a squad and couldn't push forward meant that's what was kind of their downfall.
Also, another team that had a little bit of a downfall. Pretty big downfall, that is LAKONOSTRA and PM. Like, the biggest upset we've seen in this game on Miramar.
Yeah.
They have to work on that. If they watch the stream and they like checking out with a little bit of delay, of course, as we have one, but if they check back on the broadcast, I hope they're going to take the feedback and the criticism. Communication is key. Synergy is key. That was the easiest fight they could have potentially taken. Send 2 members on the left, 2 members on the right. Well, it was a 2-1, but then 2 members on the left, 1 member on the right, or the other way around, and that could have been an easy shutdown on B2B. But unfortunately, they just said, oh, we're going to take it. Very easy. No respect whatsoever coming out from them. 1-1-1, they died out just like flies, and unfortunately got eliminated in 15th position. So LAKONOSTRA, I hope you guys will be able to improve on that, because can't afford to take too many losses there. Hopefully, they'll be able to make it through. I know it's just a group stage, and they're still looking pretty good overall, but going into the semi-finals, regional finals, these kind of moves might be the moves that get you eliminated later on down the line.
Exactly. These games can be a ripple effect. You know, you get 1.2 points less per game. You make those mistakes. You go out in last place with 0 points. That is kind of, that could be the reason why you don't make the semi-finals. It could be the reason why you don't make the finals, because you didn't get the points when you needed to. I say it's always about consistency, and you always want to come away from a game with some kind of points. It might be one for a placement, but you want to get a few points in the bag on every single game.
I'm looking at right now where teams are currently located, and indeed the scores have been updated right now in PM. So I propose that before we go into a break, we take a quick little peek at the overall standings, and we're going to see on the top 16 positions, Next are still climbing. There's only 7-point difference with Terra Esports. They want to be the #1 of Europe. They don't like being second. It's not good enough for them, and they are still aiming for the tippity top of the mountain. By the day, they're still only halfway up, and they've still got just so much more to achieve throughout the entirety of this spring split for the European region. Yeah. But still, other teams doing great. Like Cream, still 3rd position, climbing back up, 123. Still, they're just so consistent. I love it.
Cream have had some absolutely fantastic games today. Really, like, overall, yeah, you know, they haven't got a chicken dinner, but they've kind of performed better than Next up until this game that we just had. So, you know, it's really close in the overall standings between these teams. Then looking up in the bottom place, with, you know, Elevate are still 21st. They've yet to get into the top half of the standings. That's really weak. I was expecting better. LAKONOSTRA, you talked about them. They're just on the 24th spot, on the edge of qualifying. Yeah, there's still, you know, another 2 days of games ahead, but man, talk about cutting it close at this point.
This is way too close for comfort. LAKONOSTRA, this is even like worse than I actually thought at very first. So no more room for mistakes. You've got to play very serious, by the book. Maybe a little bit boring. I understand you want to go a bit YOLO mode, but you just can't afford it at this point in time. Otherwise, you might have to say sleepy night for you guys. But yeah, there you go. That was our Miramar game for today. In the books, all over. Now we're going to be going for the next game, which will be on Erangel. Of course, Erangel game. The first one was taken by AK-47, was one of the most insane late game finishes and games for them I have ever seen. 20-kill bomb. And I make it even better on this 4th and final game of Erangel. We'll be seeing myself and Imperium. We'll be going for a very short break. Stay tuned. We'll be back shortly for game number 4. Oi, captains. Thank you so much for waiting. So far, every single game has been absolutely insane. A great amount of European PUBG Mobile action coming your way. Hope you're all enjoying the show. It's an absolute honor to bring you the action. And we're ready to close up today's broadcast with one final game. We're going back to Erangel. It is home, and we're going straight back there. Imperium, good old map of Erangel. Gonna get spicy once more.
It is gonna get spicy once more indeed. Looking forward to, but yeah, to once again kind of talk about the overall standings. AK-47 in 10th, 79 points. Even before this third game, you know, I said, yeah, they probably secured a semi-final spot. That result, what they did in the Miramar game, that is ultimately put them in a semi-final spot. So really good stuff coming out from them. Also, Go Skilla. They're the only team, okay, inside the top 11 that have yet to get a chicken dinner. And they're still in 8th place. On one hand, like I always say, on one hand, that's great. Shows consistency, shows strong performance. But on the other hand, it does make me think, can they get the job done when it matters? Which is going to be in the final stages, where the chicken dinners are going to count.
Exactly. Like, you have to not only aim to just get through the group stage, if you can aim to get, you know, a little bit higher up and just beat the top tier teams, that is going to be at the end of the day your main objective. So Goskil is definitely one of those teams that I know can improve on a lot of things, but yeah, as you said, like one of the few teams in the top standings that have really a lot of consistency going their way, but it's just that little extra they can make you go to a live event, to the big boy tournaments. We'll see. But anyways, Erangel Imperium, the map that everyone knows and loves. Wonder where the teams are the most comfortable. And we'll be seeing if AK-47 can dominate as much as they did on that first game. But once again, if you did not see the first game of today on Erangel, just check it out. Just do me a favor and go back on the broadcast just a little bit and watch it. Most insane ending ever.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting. Now, team I kind of want to talk about that actually haven't showed up for these last two games, and I believe it's because they only joined as 2 players, and that is Team Matilda. And then obviously you have to have 3 players minimum in these games. So I just a little bit of friendly advice, Team Matilda, and for anybody out there, it's never over until it's over, guys. Even if your backs are against the wall, there's still always a chance that you can get a good result. So the 2 players that haven't been joining the lobby and essentially causing, without knowing everything, causing the demise of the team, you know, you got it. That attitude needs to change, because, you know, you've got to give yourself every fighting chance, and showing up playing the game, that's when you give yourself a fighting chance.
Yeah, I'm really hoping they're not going to give up. They still got one more day Imperium to go for in the group stage, so they got to give it their all. B2B, they're going to go for Zaki, putting off a REXPECT there. So not really the most common drop in location, but I would love to have a Zaki finish one day. I think I've never had the chance of casting a Zaki finish. It would be definitely pretty fun to check out. But please, phase 1 circle, I'm going to do another prayer. Please, please, please go over to the east. I would be so happy.
It's going to be on the west.
No, Imperium, don't do it.
No. Max. Reverse psychology, okay?
Oh, yeah. Please go to the west circle. I would love a western circle shift. Was it too blatant there? RNE times 10,000.
Hey, man, you know, next level strats right there. Go to the west. Go to the west circle. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Reverse psychology. Please go to the west. That's a bit better. I'll tell you what, though. It's very nice to see it not down the south more, as in it's completely avoided military base, as in it's way more up towards Stalbar, and that is a really nice sign. I'm very excited. Of course, we could see a situation where teams are going to the Yasnai should the circle shift heavily up there, and I worry about that kind of situation. But either way, I'm still very happy with that phase 1 circle.
Imagine we're just super unlucky and it just goes south, west, and just straight back the exact same circle as we had last game. I'll be like, oh, god damn it. But hoping that will not be happening right now. 8 Gaming, they made it 4th place last game. Was MZ being the snake of the century on Miramar. They're going to try next. They're going to be always in the same vicinity in the fields around Gatka. I mean, it always worked out for them, so if he ain't broke, don't fix it. It's going to be, well, the team is going to try their best to get the loot that they want. It is pretty, you're depending on a lot of luck when you try and drop towards the area of Gatka, even though you do have competitive settings, which makes loot a little bit better, but you still know that there's still a little bit of RNG involved. So hopefully they got a loot up that's actually pretty good for them to take early game fights if needed. I'm
definitely a little bit surprised the hate didn't land so much towards the west, or essentially landed as close to next as they did, and that's what happens. Like you know that is next stomping ground, and just say a bit more to the west and you would have been fine.
Unfortunately, that's going to be the first member out, and you do know that was like a pretty weird position to find himself in. I mean, it worked out. Can't argue with results. That's the first point of this. Them. And I want to see a little bit if we can have like a little bit of an overview of the map at some point, but see where the team kind of shift, as we are currently now on Stolba.
Yeah.
2 players of different teams on Stolba.
It's an unusual one, but I'm okay with it, to be perfectly honest, because it's unique, it's different. The scenery is different. The fact that we're having potentially a little bit of action up in the Stolba area, I really like it. Of course, you have OVN in Severity to the west of those guys. It's where they do like to land, but having that Stolba potential action between Team Push and Team Dope is fairly exciting.
Exciting indeed, but I don't think much will be coming out. You never know. I don't know. Is it in Circle? I don't even think it is. I think it's very close, but not quite. So chances of Stolba finish are unfortunately going to go straight through, right under my nose. Elevate. They got at least for once a nice easy circle shift. They go for Milter usually. Now they can just very chill way, just make it over. They don't have to go for the hard shift that they need to go for most of the time. They're not going to clash with Cream. I just hope they'll be able to fix that rotation they did on the first game, right? It was a little bit wonky, and I hope they're just going to, improve on that a little bit to try and just rotate a lot safer and find a position ASAP.
ASAP indeed. Now, like looking at this phase 1 circle, there's plenty of space for these teams because it was roughly in the same direction as where the playing trajectory was, going from west to east. The teams are really well spread out right now, to be perfectly honest. Where we have LAKONOSTRA and Rozhok, that's going to give them a really nice entryway if the circle does shift heavily up north, where they can just go across the water. And even the same with Skilla and Yasnai. I talked about how you don't really want to see teams in Yasnai pass phase 2 or phase 3, but it does give them a great, nice access into the circle depending on that next phase shift.
I like how we have the camera focused on Besso. Like even the production crew are just gonna do something epic, but I'm just like, this is pretty risky. Careful, you don't have your team to back you up. These 2-4 a little bit there, but playing it pretty respectfully as of yet. He's really known and waiting for the prime opportunity because he does not know there's only 2 members of Team Dope. Or for who he knows, there might be a full squad. And he just can't take it. But maybe this is just his plan. He's just trying to give information over. But seeing how he's positioned in the open, I don't think he's going for a passive style here. He's really waiting to try and aim for frags.
Oh, man. It's,
definitely going to go for that. Of course he was. He can't not get that. Come on, Besso. But now also going to have BGD trying to join up. He's going for the first aid kit. Can he go? No, slamming between those pillars. But now, unfortunately, 2 members have the direct line of sight. Can he go for the spray? He is not. And yeah, I said it. That was pretty unnecessary. I do not know what happened with Besso, why he went over to Stolba to go 1v2 and die out. But yeah, I don't know.
Honestly, it was just really poor from Besso. If he's going to spray, he should have sprayed down to the point of getting that knockdown. They weren't in the right direction. They weren't high enough to get the headshots needed. Tudor was given too much time to pop off a first aid kit. And it did help that he had support from his Team Dope teammate from behind, but at the end of the day, that was all Besso's undoing. As we do see this next circle, it is going to be showing up in the next couple of minutes. The phase 1 blue zone closing in. And look at this. teams rotating up in towards the center. It's getting a bit busier between apartments, school, and between Yasnai and Rozhok.
A lot of cars rotating between UDR Killers and Cream. The both teams see each other on the side of their eye, and they're like, okay, we're going to avoid that. We're just going to spread out a little bit more openly. UDR Killers are going to go towards the area of apartment. They got a nice compound just nearby they can take for themselves. Pretty easy to breach that compound, to be completely honest. So if Cream really want to go to, this is a nice area to actually just drive into. But I think that Cream, they could just try and do a battle of knocks from a distance and not really get too involved. And you know, Cream aren't really too known for fighting too much early. They like to really put their aggressive playstyle mainly to mid to late game, mainly late game.
I like the fact that Cream are going for a bit of a 2-2 split for now. Feeling pretty confident after an overall fantastic result in the last Miramar game. Then you look in next direction. You're on that compound in around between the ruins and the hills. It's a nice location. It's not super high ground, but it's a really nice point to rotate around and to get into better positions. And yeah, that's exactly what they're looking to do. And as I talked about with Cream, Nex are riding high after that chicken dinner in the last game.
Yeah, going for a little bit of a high position in the fields. No, I mean, they like playing in open areas is what Nex likes to do. They like scouting out, getting information, getting intel, and knowing where they can potentially move out next to. So it's their playstyle, and it's been working out so far for them. I mean, heck, they got already 2 chicken dinners, so it shows that it is a playstyle that if you execute it properly, it definitely does go well for you. Base 2 Imperium. Please don't go to the west, or please go to the west. They are kind of reverse psychology was a little bit late, but it's pretty good for most of these teams. Northern side, a lot of room to work with. OVN, they can play once again the same position they did last time, which is actually playing the bridge camp plays, and I think that could actually work out pretty good for them. Maybe also for the bridge just towards Yasnaya. I think that would be a great position to go for. We'll have to see if OVN will go for that shift.
Well, realistically, it has gone a little bit further down towards the southeast. So Potato Hill is going to be hot property, and I think call it a hot potato property. As Nex might be looking to go in that direction. Otherwise, realistically, the teams will have it pretty easy all around the map because they're still inside there.
I'm seeing OVN and B2B actually getting dangerously close to each other. I think the fight's currently breaking out. We'll see, but on AK-47 and Throne. But yeah, we want to see OVN and B2B. Come on, show us the action. We want to see where it's going. It's a back-on-back trade-off. Frost will be instantly flushed away. But we are not going to go on that action, apparently. A little bit tears running down my face. I know, finally we're back into it. And no recoil will get headshot by Niva. OVN still having the nice rooftop to potentially play with. And I think the B2B are very split, and they lost already 2 members. They're going to try and flush it out. But the nice rooftop position of Zodox with the AK doing quite a bit of work, just pressuring Dust to not peek out too heavily, allowing his team, mainly Chucky, to just force on forward, and allowing Addis to just crawl back over to his building so he can pull off the res.
Yeah, but it's not gonna is it gonna happen, Zodox? Come on. Touch him! Touch him! By the son of Odin! He touched them, and the revive will come through, but it's not over yet. It's not too safe for B2B, because OVN, they're ready to strike.
Oh my god, that scared me. So hard, but... Oh, okay, well, see you later, alligator. Chucky gonna bite that nade right in his face. Dusk gonna try and get the 2-man split of B2B down. Noriko was knocked away. Niva just gonna try and get a nice high ground position. I love what he's doing right now. Should go a little bit higher, to be completely honest. I think there was a little bit of miscommunication on where they were currently pinpointed at. But now he's gonna slowly walk his way over there, trying to get a nice spot. Gonna see no recoil his body, so he's gonna try and potentially flush it away. Not yet, but he's going to mainly aim for Zodox. Steam Pro's down. That's an easy headshot. And of course, the headshot does indeed connect. And Niva will find himself another frag. Niva just doing so much for OVN Esport in this engagement versus B2B.
Yeah, he's really looking strong. Throwing out a grenade just to confirm that kill. Really calculated stuff from him. One is going to connect. It's going to be the second one. Bob's your uncle. That's going to be a kill. Leaving just Aldis left standing on top of that building, gonna be surrounded by the 3 players of OVN.
The team that wins it and also get himself a Groza just in a crate just nearby. So that's like the prize for the winning team. Gives you a little bit more of an intention to fight for it. Winning prize, but now they know that they got 3 knockdowns. 2 of them were already confirmed. Trying their best, but this is gonna confirm that kill.
Take it away. Feels bad, man. Feels bad, man. Now, I will say, to give a bad point over to EVN, they should be pushing it. They should be, himself. Because I thought...
Yep, do it. He's going to deny points away from OVN. I mean, You're in a tower, right? You're in an open area around it. It's not worth it. So he's like, okay, well, I'm going to take myself out and take points away for OVN. I think I understand.
I still want to say, like, OVN should have closed out a lot quicker. It would have given them a better kind of focus on this next circle that has shifted down to southeast. What a hard shift. The teams in Rozhok, Yasnai, all around the kind of north side, or should I say the south side of that river, are all going to have to rotate very, very heavily into the circle.
Thanks, moving forward with the... They're all splitting out in cars. At least they won't all get flushed out. But Jar Jar gave the info. MZ is moving forward. Navi also doing a similar kind of move. They're not going to go the right direction that they were expecting. Hey, giving like, oh no, we could have got so many nice flushes there. But they're going to go the other way. And they're still going to try and make the most out of it. Narak's put so damn low, but able to make it out. Going to have to jump out of the car. Unfortunately, it is pretty much fuming at this state. Will his team just come back? They need to jump in. They can go for a 3-car rotation. I will allow it. Thrown. They're going to move around the area, try and find a nice high ground position towards the good old compound of Rozhok.
That's a car, Boris. Just be careful now. LAKONOSTRA is going to get a little bit Mad Maxy between UDR Killers and LAKONOSTRA, who are kind of rotating in opposite directions, funnily enough, as UDR Killers are still a full squad. Shots being fired. Alka knocks down Red X. That's going to be a confirmed kill. Good stuff by UDR Killers. And I will give that...
A 3.
No, I'm going to give that a 6 out of 10, man.
He hit it on the front. Aww.
Yeah, but he landed on his wheels. It was clean. Very clean.
Okay, I think we're more focused on the car moves there than the actual fighting, but LAKONOSTRA, a little bit of a dip. They are kind of open to damage mainly on the east, so they've got to be very careful to holding that angle specifically. But they should be fine. Hopefully it won't get too bad for them. As they still have Elevate around the corner. This is a game that Elevate need to perform really well in. Yeah. They have no more room for mistakes. They need to do good because they're still on the limit. If they have a few bad games, they can get pushed back in lower standings.
Navy gets knocked down. The remaining 2 players of Hate are trying to find a way into the circle. They landed near next. They got 1 player taken out. They then went close to Watertown, and it really hasn't been too easy for them since, to be perfectly honest. All the while thrown, looking to go past school into the circle via the west side. We are getting close to this phase 4, Max. Will it stay down south? Will it shift up north? If it does shift up north, it's going to be really punishing for Elevate.
That circle is already pretty harsh. I think that all teams are definitely suffering from it. If it shifts on another direction, once again, really a hard shift. Up so hardly. Also because there are not many compounds in the area. A lot of terrain to work with, but compounds are not too present in that current kind of location. This phase 3 is about to close up. Can we see any map? I definitely do hope so. Where might it go? Is it going to shift away from them? And it's not going to go... Aaron, I think it actually went up north a little bit.
It did go up north. It's out of the direction of Elevate. They're going to have to respond very quickly. Either they respond very quickly or they leave it really late to rotate in. The teams that are ahead of them, LAKONOSTRA and UDR Killers. LAKONOSTRA definitely not too threatening. UDR Killers a little bit more threatening. But look at this. That open field goes skiller in. If they don't have a vehicle, it's going to be hard for them to disengage from it.
Going to disengage. I hope you have enough cars to do so. Team though, they're going to have only BGD unfortunately at this point. Going to go for the spray. Dextov AK-47 was the insane nades on Miramar. And make it back over to his team. And you definitely see the teams are just a little bit like, oh, this is not a great shift. There's a lot of open, flat area. We're not having the terrain we were hoping for. So getting a position early on is going to be a lot better because when teams are set up, just going to crawl on through with the car. And with so many teams having a direct angle on us, this is not valuable. So the earlier, the better.
Plus, at the end of the day, we still have 14 teams and 48 players up. And I think part of that has been caused by these hard shifts and the rotations that come out rather than going for the kills as Bobby is knocked down by next.
How did Chad survive that, actually? Bazi, a little bit overwhelming with the spray. BGG will get headshot by Savage X. Though looking really good, pressuring as many members as they can. Elevate, they finally moved on out from their compound. They know they have to shift ASAP. They can't afford another big L. They are a nice position. I really like it. It's a position that can also deny LAKONOSTRA's position away. So I actually really like it. But they're also surrounded by another squad, and that is actually going to be team push.
Yeah, and then also you have UDR Killers to the east of Elevate. There, just inside the circle. Either way, it's not looking good for LAKONOSTRA. Pinch between two teams, but from behind, that's going to be a knockdown onto Will of Elevate.
Fast, he's going to be very close by. Should be okay. We finally have a little bit more intel on the circle, seeing where it's currently going. Next, Magneto. That's the team we wanted to call him. The next Magneto. Dead center. Dead flipping center, Imperium. Couldn't ask for any more than that. But dope. They are finally going to get breached upon by Goskiller, but they got the high ground position, and Goskiller, they know it, so they have to use up that utility to make up for that high ground position. So far, held by Team Dope. But those nades, pretty close by.
Good stuff by Dope to get very close to the members of Goskiller. And that's what I was talking about. When they don't have vehicles, it's incredibly hard. You do have Jaja from the side. He holds a really clean angle onto the members of Goskiller. Add does BGD with the DP28. Sprays on through. Just misses getting a knock.
Very unfortunate on that one. Still, the attempt was there. Now, look how the smokes definitely buying a lot of time for Goskiller. They waited for the smokes to wear out. Refresh that. Lay off smokes to try and make it a little bit higher. Bazzi going for the car push to give them a little bit of coverage. But they're going to finally go for the engage. They are going full ham, Imperium. Elot going to be getting the headshot. Tudo in the building. They don't have that backline assistance anymore. And now it's going to be a proper breakout fight as Goskiller will be a 4v2. Still have another member that will be now in the blue. And he will have to move on forward in the open. Might be an even easier pickup for Goskiller.
They have to wait for the smokes to disperse. There are teams up on towards the north side in the open field shooting at them. It's not over and done yet. Whitey nearly going to get confirmed. Albie heals up. Elon is there. They have to go for the squad wipe. Whitey gets confirmed. And now Blind Pro's down. He's so low in health. The high ground going over. He's unbelievable. Now it's Bazzi. Gets a wipe down. This is going to be the end of Goskiller if they do not hold on, and they don't.
Oh my god, Goskiller. I mean, T-Dope, they had the position in their favor right from the start. Goskiller were doing the exact right moves to actually take it back, but it was just in that fight. Unfortunately, not really big mistakes. It's just Team Dope were better in the engage, so great job from them taking all those frags for themselves, claiming more points for them, because they definitely need to try and do so to try and just get a little bit nice and comfortable in the standings. But, Hopper alone. Here it is, Elevate just going to be moving forward, and you should not take that fight if you can, because you're in the open, and you also have next as an angle on you, but goes with the DP spray. That's not going to do too much, but comes back out, and Class just jumps and falls to his doom.
He would have been able to get that if he had started shooting 2 seconds later, but now UDR killers on the Next, trying to breach the compound. One knockdown by Next. Haven't you learned? You try to breach Next, they're gonna take you out. Unbelievable play. And they didn't even do properly because 2 members of UDR killers in the background. If you're gonna do it right, UDR.
Yeah, I mean, Next, they had these walls around the compound. When you're in third-person perspective mode, it's just so easy to get from the heavens to defend that. And Next, they're just already with 4 kills and looking for more in the circle. Once again, Phase 5 shifted towards them, was one of the only, if not already the only compound still in play. And Next, they are definitely looking good.
I don't know how they do. I just don't know how they do all the while Elevate trying to hold on. 1 member up, 2 players knocked down. They're surrounded by Next, Team Push, Hate Gaming, and even B2B Limitless are there on the south side of the circle. But they will have to cross the road if it goes against them, Max.
Which seems pretty much the case. Is so much little amount of terrain on the other side that's in circle. I'm not looking too happy, but there you go. Blind sees one. Just going to go for the spray almost instantaneously. I'm going to check out phase number 6. Imperium, will it go over them? Blind going to be unfortunately taking a pretty heavy hit. As Elevate able to heal up from their wounds just a little bit, just a slither, but still unfortunately going downhill. So many teams have a direct line of sight on them, and if the next phase goes against them, they're going to have to go straight down, tumbling into the compound of Next, and they're just asking for more kills at this stage.
Oh, Zuku, hold on, my friend, as Cream trying to get past Throne, another grenade, Kobe by Marley, good stuff, and now they got to breach in, they got to take down Throne, eliminate the Thorn on their side, good stuff, now it's just KZS left standing, but he's prone down. Will Snake prove too much for Cream?
I like that nade a lot, might be a little bit too much to the right, but it might just do the work. Because it is just being prone, they're using the nades and that UTT shoving it pretty far away. Hopefully can't make it out alive, but the circle did not shift away, and look at that. That's going to be BtoB once, for the first time I think I've ever seen them in this tournament in PMCO, being so reactive to the circle and taking it home. They want to dominate. They want to pressure all these teams, trying to make it in phase 6. And this is my first time then saying, wow, impressive stuff on BtoB.
Man, but KZS, he was the thorn in their side. Got 2 knockdowns onto the member of Cream. Yes, the kills weren't confirmed, but he did the damage. And now he's going to rotate down. He is going to go right into the palm of the hands of BtoB Limitless. Pico from behind. Gets down Borean. Now Vito is going to join in to try and get the kill onto AK-47. But Dexter has not been spotted yet.
Dexter, the sneaky snake, trying to make it through. He wants to try and get their second chicken dinner on Erangel. He's not going to take the shot, which I think is pretty smart. I mean, he's got the circle right. He's already in there. And he's just got to try and buy as much time to aim for position points. They're already 7 teams, so if he can just get 5th, 4th position, this will be just so goddamn worth it for AK-47. Dexter definitely being a really good shot, but next, they know how to shift around. They're making it with the smokes, put a little bit of a smoke road over. They made it to somewhat of a little bit of terrain, but that's going to be Elevate eliminated in 7th position, losing the last member that was Zuku.
Unfortunately, just too much to handle. They did a great job as the 2 remaining members to hold on out in the open. It's a 4-man next looking to dominate. They're closer towards the center of the circle. There's 5 teams remaining. Cream holding on. BtoB Limitless also looking pretty good. And once again, Max MZ from Hate. What the hell is going on?
The sneakiest player in the land. And it's working out absolute grand. Next,
Max,
still with 4 members.
Max, this is pretty much, I believe this is pretty much carbon copy of the previous 4 teams, other than instead of Cream, you have Throne. Other than that, it's the same 3 teams that were in the top 3 in the last game.
So too, actually, I mean, at the tippity top of the mountain, you're going to have some teams. If they're good, they're going to be always going to be consistently on the top section. But he sees the feet. He sees the feet there. Oh, I love them feet. Give me some of that feet, baby. Goes for the spray. 1, 2, 3. Oh, my ankle. I'm dead. Bye-bye.
Instead of taking an arrow to the knee, he took a DP-28 bullet to the knee, and down goes AK-47. It's 4 against 1 against 1. Next, have proved to be the most dominating team in the EU so far. The Circle Gods have gone in their favor, but you can't take away of what they have done as a team, this Romanian side. So much support they've gotten, so much hard work they've put in to get to this point. Can they close out the next game with a chicken dinner?
Oh my god, MZ misses the shot. You have to use that surprise factor, but unfortunately that will not be working out. And now next, I know there was one member that was around the corner there, and because he got flushed, they know that that's a different team member that's around the corner. It's not a 4v2, it's a 4v1v1, but now they take it down, it's proper 4v1. KZS has been surviving for so long, but now he's going to get slowly engaged, gets a nice spray down on top, Son, but now he gave his position away. Slobos is going to go for it. You want to maybe wait a little bit. That's the second frag coming over for KZS. And Den Harb going to try and come around. Are they going to go for the res? Might not go for it, actually. And I would even say go for the flush if you can.
Oh my god, it's 2v1.
Come on.
KZS is doing a great job, but he's gone down to so much health. Trying to pop off with first aid. Harb on one side, and he's going for a knock. 1v1, the blue zone is closing in. He gets KZS. One more knock. 1v1 between Andy and KZS. The heal comes up. The revive comes through. The prone comes down, but it's just too much. And next, close it out.
The attempt was absolute spot on. KZS, even though it did not work out, I give you so much props for that. I think it'll maybe try to flush a little bit more to try and really just confirm those very last points. Yeah. But KZS just allowing his team to just keep on moving forward, and he's the main reason why he's the only reason why they get in second position. He's got the only kills of his squad. But next, double chicken dinner, back-to-back win. The only team to get back-to-back chicken dinners was Hate Gaming in the entire European PMCO Spring Split 2020. I mean, look at that amount of kills. It speaks for itself. They are 15. One of the top teams in Europe right now.
15 kills.
I'm going to let you do the math.
Chicken dinner. Absolutely ridiculous. Phenomenal. I just really, I can't get over how good this team is. Even when the circle went against them, they reacted so quickly, Max, that I didn't even notice it, in the sense of it was just Boom, that's it. In there, in the center of the circle. The confidence they have, the determination, it's just, I can't really put it into words right now. I hope it continues for their sakes, because if they fall off coming into the semifinals and the finals, then it could be a bad ending story. But for now, it is firmly in the palm of their hands.
Hey Gaming, you know, as usual, mainly aiming for positioning points. They got not too many kills, just like last game on Miramar. They get third, 1 kill going over to Jar Jar. But MZ, I mean, I said it. The sneakiest of them all, the sneakiest player all in Europe, and able to make it through. Maybe even worse than Miss Ali, you know. I think that Miss Ali and MZ on the same kind of level in terms of snaking. So I gotta say, I do ship it. But now as we move forward, just so many good games. Elevate still like hitting the mark a little bit more than like what they did in the previous games, and I'm pretty happy with Elevate how they were able to close up today at least, and because they were really close of getting potentially knocked out of the top 24. But this amount with 7th position, 3 kills, I think is just about enough to, you know, keep them in an area where they are looking pretty like comfortable.
Although there's mistakes 100% that they made, like for example, when they rotated away from LAKONOSTRA, they should have kept going, or they should have stopped, healed up, then kept going. And that would have put them in a much better position. But because they held out for too long, when the circles once again went against them, they were put under too much pressure. Like I said, they still did a great job as a 2-man team between Kailas and Zuko of holding on. But it's like I said, it's this ripple effect. You wait too long to engage, you wait too long to close out a fight, it goes against you on the next circle, because you cannot 100% say the circle is going to go in your favor. If you stay there, cool, and it goes in your favor, cool. But if it goes against you and you don't react quickly enough, or you don't close out that engagement, you're just really hurting yourself.
And also they were team push, right? They were team push, who were just around there, so it was even more of a riskier position to be in, because you had two teams that had an angle on you. So yeah, it was definitely really harsh on them. I think they should have kept going, as you just mentioned, but they were able to make it in a better position than they've done so far in their games. So definitely a step in the right direction. Hopefully their next 4 games and their last 4 games of the group stage will be their winning factor to get qualified for the semi-finals. But Imperium, next, MVP of the day. I think it's fair to call them the MVP of the day, Imperium. But there you go. That's going to be our final game.
No, honestly...
Ooh.
No, I'm going to say AK-47 are the MVPs of the day. They came into this day, Max, they came into this day in 28th spot. 28th spot. And they've ended today in the top 15 with a chicken dinner and the highest point game so far in this group stage. Nobody expected that. We somewhat expected this for Next. We did not expect this from AK-47. So they are 150% the MVPs of today's games.
I guess maybe underdog would be the word we're looking for here. The underdog of the day, or like MVP of the day, depending on what you guys want to. But definitely like great performance on them, getting the top point average in one single game alone, dropping the 20 kill bomb. So impressed with that team and with those players. Now Imperium, the scores have now been updated, and I recommend that we go and take a quick little peek to the top 16 positions. Going to be seeing right now. Next, taking back their owned position. They are now in #1 spot, and they are with now 165 points. I mean, what else do you want to check out on that? Like, points, and it counts for it. It talks for itself.
Like 28 points ahead. The chicken dinner speaks for itself in that last game. 103 placement points, 62 kill points. So not only have they followed the placement points, but they've also followed the kill points. The most dominating team so far in the group stage. But Cream Esports, man, so consistent. But they are on the same points as Terror Esports. So that's really an interesting thing to see. Magic and 4th. Hey Gaming with MZ getting them up in the 5th place overall. It's not what they want, but by God, are they holding on to that top 5.
I'm really happy for some of these teams. But you just said, right, AK-47 going from like, what was their position before at the start of the day? They were like very
28th.
low. 28th. No, 28th? From like in 8th position? You're like the first quarter. And this is the first quarter is where you need to be for like the regional finals, right? You need to be in that kind of position. Yeah. So they are spot on, absolute perfect today on AK-47. I hope they can keep that going throughout their remaining 4 games in the group stage. One team I'm going to talk about a little bit that I'm actually pretty happy with, as we're going to be panning over to the lower 16, is going to be Elevate. They started off before this game in actually 21st position with 50 points, and that game alone was able to just climb them back in 80th position. Slow and steady wins the race. Elevate definitely going on by that saying, and I mean, as long as it works, you can't argue with the results, right?
Honestly,
again,
it's not good enough. No, it's not good enough. They know it's not good enough. Everybody knows it's not good enough. And I'm just saying how it is. I am glad to have seen them progress a little bit. I'm glad to have seen them staying in the fight, but considering the reputation they have coming into these games, they know it's just not good enough, Max.
They need to do a little bit better, that is definitely for sure. But at least as long as they make it through the group stage, they can refocus themselves and it buys them a little bit more time, because they're definitely not in the right place right now. They need to put a lot more work and effort in their games and do exactly what they were doing during Pro U scrims. Like, we are missing the Pro U scrims kind of Elevate right now. Anyways, let's close the chapter on the standings. You guys can also go check them out in the broadcast if you want to see it in the VOD. But we're going to go over real quick the schedule for tomorrow's broadcast. Is going to be starting up, of course, as always, at 8 PM CET. Going to be not having any Miramar, actually, for the 2 remaining days of the group stage. Miramar is out of the question. It will be, of course, Erangel, Sanhok, Vikendi, and Erangel once again. 50% of your games are Erangel. Yeah, Sanhok and Vikendi definitely going to be really interesting. And these are the kind of games that, you know, OVN Esport, they're just waiting to jump into.
Yeah, exactly. I cannot wait to see what we are getting into the final third of the group stage. Who's going to climb up? Who's going to stay in the top 32? But one little quick fact for you that I've been able to calculate. You know, the way normally, the more games a team plays, the lower their average is in terms of points per game. Next came in to this day with an average of 20.5 points per game. They close out today with an average of 20.6.
Increased it?
Increased. They got 83 points today. They got more points today than they did on their first day.
Oh my god. That is like increasing your average over 8 games. It might not, like, for like viewers that maybe don't play competitively or don't watch too much esports, it might not seem like too much, but over 8 games, keeping your average consistent and even increasing it, even though it's very slightly, but that means you're staying consistent throughout all your games with like such a high average per game of points. That is absolute pure and raw mentality, and I mean, next, they deserve it. Like, the games they've been pulling off consistently, I mean, it just shows for itself. Like, congratulations, Next. Definitely one of your top teams in all of Europe right now. And I just can't wait to see what they could potentially do. Like, Next, I think, is a team that would be really interesting to see what they would do against, like, teams of other regions, because their play style is so specific and so, like, European in a sense, but, like, pushed to the limits. But I think against, like, teams of NA, against Chinese teams, it would be just so fun to see them play.
I'm gonna hold off that judgment until we get past the semi-finals and the final stage, because realistically you do also have to consider, and this is no disrespect to the teams in the lower standings, but there is a certain element of randomness when you do go up against some teams that aren't as honed in on the strategies and the rotations of these games, and it can catch some of these teams out. I'm not saying it's a full-on excuse, but I want to know how Next respond when they're going up against the other top 15 teams. You know, that's what I want to see. And if they rise to the top on that, then honestly, I will be the first to say, yes, they can go against the best teams in the world. Honestly, I will say that.
I think we're both in the right mindset, Imperium, about this team. They are absolutely insane. With that said, we're going to be closing that segment on the final game of the day. And just going to real quick tell you what's going to be happening tomorrow. Of course, it's going to be 8 PM CET right here on the PUBG Mobile Esports YouTube channel and Twitch channel. It's going to be the PUBG Mobile account. And also, we'll be having games that we said is going to be Erangel. Then after, of course, Sanhok and Vikendi. Then closed up with Erangel once again. We're going to be having tomorrow Group A versus Group D. And I got to say, the matchup of Group A versus Group D, I don't know what you think there, Imperium, but I think we're going to have the most aggressive teams facing up against each other. You got, like, what, Top Killers, got Terra Esports that are going to be in the lobby right now for Group A, and you're also going to have AK-47. You're going to have so many teams that just play so aggressively, and I just can't wait to see so many fights breaking out and see which team is the best between these two groups.
Yeah, but then again, the good thing for the likes of Terra Esports and others is that, like, well, especially for Terra Esports, is that they aren't going up against Next. You know, they're not going up against Cream, so they don't really have to worry about that so much, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So they can kind of focus on getting as many points as they can against both Next and Cream before the final day on Sunday.
Yeah, that's going to be on Sunday. On Sunday will be the last day of the group stage, and will be known at the very point in time which teams will be moving over to the semi-finals to represent Europe as well as they possibly can. My name is Maxman, John was Imperium as always. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 PM CMT or 7 PM... No, that's going to be 8 PM CET, 7 PM GMT. We'll be here on the YouTube channel and the Twitch channel. Stay tuned, subscribe if you're not ready to be notified, and we'll be back tomorrow for some more epic PMCO Spring Split 2020 European PUBG Mobile action. See you later.